Yep. Just a quick one before we do.
I did start recording just now.
That's fine. I can add it here too. Diaphragm is kind of fucked. There may be times I can't talk for long periods of time, so I'll probably just take like 5 seconds to breathe at that point, so don't be super surprised if it happens. I should be okay. So for now, we'd like to recap.
I'm looking back in my notes and being reminded of the wonderful time we had. Fate Charm training at the start. Ashton and Rosalind traded slightly embarrassing things that they went through phases in their youth. Kind of away from the group, so nobody else knows about it right now, and the pact right now between them is I don't tell, you don't tell. We did manage to get him with one last thing to complete his training, or get close enough that he completed it overnight. So he drew his favorite flowers on suggestion, and it was symbolic of all of us, and it was unimaginably sweet.
It was very cute.
It was. Esther asked the Fane for information about Onis, and then Xenia asked for a memory dream to explain what makes Bo so strong. Xenia saw him cutting off his own hand and taking a portal to the desert, so that's fun. That was presumably implied to be a memory of his, so something he did in the past. Turns out Xenia took on the Raven Queen deal. Raven Queen showed up just to correct us on the whole assumption that she's an evil goddess. Right now, Xenia is in an avatar body in order to take these powers on kind of a trial run. Their original can be given back at request. However, right now, Xenia is kind of locked into one form, which they chose for their own comfort, but they are not currently blessed of Corellon and cannot shift every morning.
Who put corn?
That has been there for a while. Ignore it. So anyway, do some more training. Esther and Aquarius continue to flirt. We get to the base of the mountain. We discuss the winged horse, sometimes winged horse. It hadn't come back since we left it on the plane of ice, and we're talking about, did you try calling it? And he tried whistling, but of course that didn't work, and then we stumble upon, did you name it? What do you call it in your head? Horse that sometimes comes along with us, and the horse reappears abruptly right then and there. It is now named Lucifer, aka Lucy. Crackles sky. Just a little.
Mm-hmm.
We spent about 3.5 hours flying upwards between riding on Lucy and Aquarius in the form of a giant owl. Originally it was going to be a goat with the fly spell, but then we figured out there were time limits on that were not going to work. So she was kind of down one wild shape. And we see an explosion on the side of the mountain far above us, and this red dragon flies out carrying a tarp bulging with apparently gold and maybe other treasures, followed by wyverns, etc., escaping and carrying things. One of those wyverns dropped a humanoid-shaped thing down between us, as a dwarf, missing an arm, plummeting towards the rocks. On an unlikely check, we managed to catch him and fly to a little bit of a landing ledge on the mountainside, which was a little more space was cleared up. Set him down, healed the wounds. We are resting an hour before going further up. Apparently the dwarf, I guess now named Ori?
No, I'm not sticking to that.
Okay. Fine. The dwarf worked in a bank, and we saw a dragon heist in action. And that is where we left off.
As a note, the dwarf's name is Groloun. I want to spell that.
Yeah, because I'm taking notes. That is not what I heard, so good to know.
I'll do the phonics.
Not at all what I heard, but okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it was... Keep going.
No worries. So you guys remain sitting on top of a summoned wall of stone from Aquarius, kind of just catching your breath and completing a short rest. Groloun does kind of just sit there, nursing his wounded arm and eating a Pop-Tart.
I think wounded's a bit of an understatement.
Wounded shoulder, let's go with. Yeah, he's kind of just doing his thing. Waiting for you guys to get ready to go.
Yeah. Rosalind's reading the book while she waits for her spell slots to come back.
You see Aquarius kind of doing her best to make sure the platform is comfortable for everyone. Creating like little lips, people don't
I
just
think
like.
it was said last time that
follow.
Asha is doing like a quick patrol around the.
Yeah, you did the patrol and that came back. Getting to the end of the short rest, you do see from the hole further up the mountain that the assumedly dragon made. People are starting to clamber out and kind of look around, and you hear people calling. You can't quite tell if they're calling to you or if they're just yelling out, mostly because you don't speak Dwarvish.
Rosalind does.
Rosalind does, okay. So you can hear them saying, like, mostly talking to each other, but it is very distant.
Yeah, that's fair. Is it like miles up or?
Less than a mile. Maybe
Alright.
it's kilometers, about a third, I think, of a mile, around there.
Rosalind's gonna go ahead and send Thorn flapping on up there, and once he gets about close enough to be in hailing distance, she'll kind of pop her vision and speech through him. And hearing and all that.
Fair. To be fair, roll a quick luck roll.
Okay. 16.
Okay. So, as Thorn starts like flying up the mountain, the dwarf decides not to throw his hammer at the thing that looks very much like a red dragon flying towards him.
Yeah, I wondered if that was what the luck roll was for.
He stops in time for you to like hear you speaking through Thorn's voice and goes,
Hello.
"Oh, hi."
We have one of yours down on a ledge. We'll be bringing him up. He's wounded but alive. We came in time to see the dragon flying away.
You're not one of the dragons, yes?
No, I am. This is my familiar. I am just speaking through him. You can probably see us if you look down, and Rosalind kind of lift a hand and wave. There's this beacon of red and white on the mountainside.
And you see him actually pull out what seems to be a spyglass and just look through and see you guys. He goes, "Ah, you folk. All right. Oh, it's him. Okay."
Ah, so you recognize him then?
Oh yeah, one of his siblings, distant, but one of his siblings.
I wasn't aware you could have distant siblings.
Oh, haven't been around the dwarves very long, have you?
I've studied a little bit, but I haven't had extensive contact, no.
Well, distant siblings were about 150 years in age apart.
Oh, I see. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and about 14 siblings as well, but you know, not the biggest difference, not the smallest either.
Yes, well, we're resting now, but in a few minutes we should be prepared to bring him up.
All right. Do you need assistance bringing him up? I don't imagine he's particularly mobile right now.
Not particularly, but we do have our own transport. I believe we'll be able to manage, but if you'd prefer to send assistance down, then, well, we'll welcome the help.
Oh, this is what we have wizards for. Might as well get you guys up here when you're ready. We'll send one of them down in maybe half an hour. That's all right.
We might be heading up a little sooner than that, but we'll meet him halfway at the very least.
All right. Luck. When you come inside, I'm sure Groloun will bring you to the family home. We'll speak further there, I suppose.
Well, thank you. And I look forward to visiting.
And may I ask, who is going to be visiting other than my brother?
Well, I'd like to say we have a collective name, but we really don't. We're a group of travelers. We've actually met with the Archdruid atop Citadel fairly recently.
And you see his face kind of sour just a little.
Not a close relationship. Conrad, I can't hear you.
He's gone, brothers. It
no.
begins.
Yeah.
Do we want to disguise ourselves before we go up there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not, it's running into that hairy mess of going in disguise to a place where somebody would only know us as ourselves and would question our disguises.
Yeah,
I
think
mean, we've met plenty of people who are just like walking around with other farms and stuff, and
Yeah, well, for one thing, they've already seen us at least at a distance, or at least via spyglass. So we wouldn't be able to change too drastically.
yeah, we're at least sticking Aquarius in the jar.
Yeah, probably. She might not like that, but safety.
That's their whole convincer.
Okay. Are you gonna need a little bit of time to yourself for the convincing?
No.
Okay.
Well, also we'll either need to polymorph her or like kind of open it up on the side of the mountain.
She'll be getting a wild shape back.
Oh yeah, good point.
Short rest, she gets wild shapes back. Actually, she is one of our transport options, honestly. Remember, she was the giant owl? So there might not be much we can do about Aquarius.
But they said they were sending help down.
True, and we did say we had our transport options, so technically we could open up the house on the side of the mountain if there's space, and then multiple could go inside and just carry the base up. Those who remain outside. And then if Aquarius happens to stay inside the hut, then, like a little fly on the wall if necessary.
Yep.
Test.
There you are.
There we go. Sorry, to answer the response that, sorry, to answer the question you had asked him. He says, I'm not one much of the fans of the Archdruids, personally. We tend not to agree on a great many points.
No, we understand. Sometimes we need to work together in order to do what's best for as many people as we can.
Oh, of course. I'm not going to complain. You saved my brother. Political differences aside, I'm sure we can get along.
I'm glad.
Oh, we're gonna get more than along, buddy. You want to join our army?
We'll let Ashton do the recruiting, okay?
I'm in need of a militia. Come here, brother.
He seemed kind of give a nod towards to Thorn, and continue picking his way down the mountain. You see, he's got this kind of like cap on his head that keeps the sun in his eyes as he kind of works his way down the mountain on this boot that has like pittons on the bottom of them. So he's walking at like a 30-degree angle.
Mm-hmm.
As he kind of like passes by you guys, kind of waves, and you see Groloun kind of wave back to him. And he just keeps continuing down.
Also, I realized that would take like, how long would it take to walk a mile?
In general, it takes about 20 minutes in D&D time. Sorry, in real time, basically, in going by the D&D standard of 24 miles per 8 hours.
Yeah, 20 minutes is a fairly good jog for a mile. There are people who will like run a mile in 15 minutes.
It's assumed that you're moving relatively quickly.
No, I have grasping souls. That's why I could just eat up the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
But also, could we do the real quick, open up the house. Get
Mhm.
Aquarius first of all in there.
Oh, open up the house or just get someone in the house?
Well, do we not need to shrink someone down if we want to get them in there?
Mm-mm.
She's a druid. She can shrink down.
Okay. But then we're down one transport option.
Yes.
Yeah, basically, it's if we were to go down the transport option, we would also have to open the house anyway in order to like stuff a few more people in there, so that the transport options aren't as going to be as big a problem.
I assume you guys are discussing this to her, right?
Yep.
Probably, yeah, we are. We're not just going to take her and say sorry and stuff her in.
Okay. So I'm just gonna check something real quick because it doesn't have written down what the concentration of that spell is.
Or I can just explain to her that she has to go into the vase.
Sorry, I just gotta check a spell because the duration is not listed.
What spell?
Conjure woodland beings. This is what I'm checking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't you use that, Ariel?
No, I did not.
Concentration up to an hour. Okay. So you see her kind of go, I can make you mounts that I don't need to be around for. It doesn't last as long as other things, but just to get up the mountain to that hole, it'll be enough.
That might be the way to go then.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I think someone should be on the horse with our friend here. Just so he doesn't.
I have to be.
Yes.
Perhaps.
So, Ashta and Groloun on the horse. How many beings would you be able to conjure for mounts? And would they be large enough to carry only one each or multiple?
Please hold while I check that as well.
Yeah.
Also,
Alright, she goes,
He's gone.
2 great carry about 2 each.
Okay, that would take care of the rest of us easily.
quick request of Roslyn on the horse as well for 1 language barrier with the other passenger, and 2, their horses probably get there first, so language barrier with when they arrive.
Yeah, that is probably very fair. In that
Basically,
case,
we could fly up and go. We have friends coming along the way, and they're not stat here. They're going. Sprechen Sie English.
To be fair, if you have the dwarf there, he can also speak for you.
Yeah, but Ashta doesn't speak Dwarvish, and the dwarf was established as not speaking much or any common.
But I mean, just to the other dwarves, he can get them to be like a. Because more people are coming up.
And
Yeah, we don't want any words.
Also, can you cast tongues on people?
Yeah, she cast
Yeah, that's
it on
how
the
we
dwarf.
did it
That's
before
how we
time.
were talking. However, she just got that spell slot back.
Fair.
She cannot just keep doing that.
I have tongues prepared. If Xenia will probably offer to cast
We
tongues.
we don't need to waste the spell slot.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's as easy as the horse can carry 3,
Yeah, which it can.
then we only need 1 beastie that can carry 2 for Xenia and Esther, and one of them, probably Esther, is carrying the base that has her baby and her girlfriend inside, and Caius.
Jesus Christ. And Caius.
Thought Caius was the baby.
We have
okay,
to
fine,
ask
2 babies.
her to go inside.
Aquarius may request to stay outside the base,
And
if at all possible.
Asher would say, "No, you're a Zodiac walking into the town."
It might be best for you to be inside the base, just for a little while, until we can get somewhere behind closed doors.
If you want, Esther can go with you.
Esther shoots Ashta a very pointed look of fuck off.
I'm sure Caius can keep me company enough for now.
And there's
Sorry.
Paris.
Next time, Esther.
Sure.
Aquarius can go and show Caius some more armadillo training techniques.
And please make sure that Paris doesn't eat Caius.
I make no promises about that. If the dragon wants to eat the man-child, he can do it so himself.
That's fair.
It's his indigestion, not mine.
Would you mind shrinking down then, so you can go inside?
Perhaps cast
Well, how about I summon?
beings first.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you see she kind of just makes a gesture with her hands, and two giant eagles appear, basically flanking the horse.
Neat.
And then she basically turns into an octopus and goes to climb inside of the vase. And
What did you turn
you hear the
into,
sound
like,
of
Okay.
you hear the sound of a scuffle for a second, and then Pierce yelling something about ink.
Oh no. Kai's got a new hair color.
Oh no. No, 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 no.
Iris has a painted face.
How did we get pink inside the thing?
It's an octopus.
It's an octopus, and Pierce tried to do the bear
Oh.
thing. Pierce tried to pounce, probably.
So she turned into an octopus.
Yeah, in order to get in, because octopus can squeeze through just about anything.
Also, I just had this like goofy mental image in my head of like Aquarius turns into like a squirrel or something, and then just like someone holding the vase and like as they're doing like a 3-point shot with a squirrel.
Honestly, I think it would look funnier using an octopus for that.
You're such a bad joke when it comes to octopuses. I'm not gonna. We're not.
So she climbs into the vase, and you assume she figured out her way. You see the eagles kind of waiting for you guys to climb onto the back.
Also get on one.
Yep.
I shall help up the lady and the amputee.
And the two of them do climb on. The dwarf does, thank you.
Lady and the Amputee. That's a sick band name.
That's a Disney film we haven't worked with yet.
No,
Oh my
that...
god.
Or it's a terrible tavern song.
Or that.
It will be one day.
Sorry. Wow.
I'm trying to think of a hook joke here, but I can't.
Oh god, I don't know.
The lady and the amputee. He tried to go down on one knee.
Are we
Something-
limericking this now?
Something about falling over.
Nope, we're going up the mountain.
Yep.
I assume this is a discussion not had with the dwarf.
We hear light singing coming from the jar.
Probably.
Now the question there is, Caius teaching Aquarius terrible songs, or is Aquarius teaching Caius?
Kai's
the-
teaching
the-
Aquarius, of course.
It's the octopus singing.
The octopus is singing. Okay. It's Aquarius.
No, that was something else, just to be clear.
Okay then.
Last I checked, octopuses can't sing.
Depends on
That's
how
what you think.
Disney we get with this.
Kiss the girl. Yeah,
Let's see.
that would be Aquarius saying, kiss the girl.
Anyways, we go up the mountain.
From the jar.
You guys do go to the mountain, and you see, at one point, a dwarf, assumedly wizard, floating down on a disc.
xylophone in there.
I think that's a different song. But yes.
No. My brain went, you put the Kais in the coconut, you swirl it all around. You guys do, you see assumedly a dwarf wizard, wearing these like midnight black robes, and this stave in his hand as he floats down on a disc, relatively slowly but comfortably compared to, you see the people hiking downwards. And he kind of gives you guys a strange look as you pass him, flying much faster than he is in the opposite direction.
Rosalind waves briefly because no time to shout. Thorn is curled
This
around
is
her
gonna
shoulders.
dab.
Ah,
I said dabs.
No, we can't hear dabs.
You can see them.
I'm going to. I would rather not.
not if everyone ignores you.
You guys get to the kind of hole in the mountain, and as you kind of crest the lower edge of it, you look in, and for this part, it looks like pretty much you'd expect from someone who burrowed through a mountain. It's this lightly dusty and very much just unworked rock in a tunnel maybe 40 feet wide in any direction. 40-foot radius, that is. Just digging into the mountain further than you guys can see. And there's dwarves just streaming out, climbing down the mountain. Some of them are climbing up. You see a couple spellcasters just either flying or floating on discs or mounts. Although the mounts are few and far between, you see probably one similar giant eagle. That's about it.
Hey guys, can you tell we're from Citadel?
Yeah, it's just a little bit obvious.
Yeah. Well, for one
What?
thing, there's the height.
Ashta, you fit right in.
What? Sorry, wind's going too fast here. Can't hear you.
Well, you do notice as
I think
the
she's
dwarf,
going-
the dwarf as he is flying on the back of the horse, he's decidedly not looking down.
Mhm.
He doesn't seem to be happy to be in the air again.
Yeah, probably for the best. He looks up.
Some of you guys are kind of hovering basically at the edge, and the eagles are actually almost nearly as fast as the horse. So it only takes a minute for them to catch up. No one seems to stop you as you kind of just hover there.
Can we go in for a landing?
Yeah, sure thing.
Or a dwarf with like glowing sticks, kind of doing motions.
No, you guys are basically just looking for a place where there isn't a bunch of dwarves that you're going to step on your way down.
Move, please.
Yep, and as they see you kind of swooping in, a couple of them like duck to the ground and just think you're doing a flyby on them, but you land comfortably.
A flyby. Fuck off.
Yeah. Rosalind is not going to slide off just now because that's a long way down for her. She'll let the horse kneel or something first.
Yep, and if you ask it, it goes, sure thing. Lowers its front legs.
Let's throw it off the eagle.
That just still helps the man with one arm.
Yeah.
Yep, and he happily takes the assistance. Although you notice he is heavy, even down one limb.
Need a hand. Brother.
Is he like portly or is he built? Both.
Yeah, kind of like the guys who were like the professional weightlifters, that kind of build.
Mm.
Like he's not super well muscled, but he's decently defined.
Okay.
Like you can see he's got the callus bod. He's got heft. You can almost like envision him throwing a log,
Okay. Really, a dwarf.
basically. Yeah. But as you guys kind of get on down, and the eagles, do you guys get off the eagles as well?
Yep.
Okay. And as you do, you see them kind of just dissipate. And a dwarf with a much nicer helmet than any of them. Most of them are just wearing like hats of some kind. This one's got this nice helmet, got this long red beard, and he's like very like piercing blue eyes. And he kind of walks up to you guys and he goes, in common, he says, you foreigners us have business, or?
We're bringing Groloun here back. I spoke with one of his distant siblings searching the mountainside. We caught him on his way down.
On his way down? Groloun, do you mind telling me why you, you don't speak common. And he switches to Dwarvish. He says, you mind telling me, why you're on the outside of the mountain rather than guarding the vault? And you see Groloun kind of bristle at that. This says something that, Rosalind, you don't recognize the words, but they're not happy words.
Yeah. She might know like one or two bits, just as, okay, this is really similar to another word, don't say it with this inflection, that means something not good.
Basically, yeah.
In front of the beeping vault, then the beeping dragon came in and beep, 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 beep.
Basically, yes.
She catches something about mother and yeah.
Something about the blind goat. It's a whole
Was that? Oh, that was the word for fornicate, wasn't it? Oh no.
Well, she didn't know.
But once he lets off his little tirade, and the dwarf with the helmet, he kind of glances at the missing arm. He goes, "All right, fine. Complaints, to drop him off."
Imagine Rosalind like tonight is just like kind of sat in her bed, just like looking up at the ceiling. It's like, oh, that's what he meant.
Yeah, Rosalind might ask the Fane later on if they have any knowledge of dwarves, just to cross-reference some things, because she can make assumptions, but she doesn't have certainty yet.
You gotta be really careful which accent you put in that E.
Oh my god.
It's a dangerous one.
Yeah, fucking Fane Urban Dictionary.
Basically.
Yeah. Oh, she'd know about the dangerous one. She knows the equivalent of Spanish class and being warned that embarazada is not a cognate of embarrass. Don't use it or you embarrass yourself horribly.
Or in French where it's chat.
Yeah, or excité.
Oh god.
Just all those tricky little words.
By the way, you guys are familiar with these things as people who speak many languages. All those primordial-based languages have a lot of things like those. Like certain things in Orin, you cannot say in Aqua.
Do not, brother. The commonality for hello in Orin means fuck your mother in Aqua.
At one point, you get the Australians of the primordial languages, and they're just like, "Hey, fuck off, cunt." And it's like, "Oh, hey, hello to you too."
That's Esther's family.
Basically.
That's Esther's family.
Regardless, as the tirade ends, the dwarf kind of just nods his head and says, "He says you guys are coming with him, yes?"
Mention was made.
All right. Don't do anything stupid and clean up any shit that the horse makes.
I'm sure that one of us could find some way to take care of it if need be.
I would suggest you do. We don't keep many pets, and those that do have to pull their weight. Otherwise, make a tasty meal.
Well,
and this one looks like he'd make for some fantastic wing.
Not for long, as Ashta is off the horse and the feathers have gone.
Well, we saw the horse fly in.
Yeah, but the feathers are now poof.
Mm.
I'd say that this one has pulled its own weight and ours repeatedly, so...
Wouldn't you say so, Lucifer?
The horse goes, "I think so, boss." And the dwarf kind of just looks at the horse, looks at you guys and goes, "Fucking foreigners. Alright."
Rosalind's just smiling very pleasantly. And in Dwarvish says, "And a good evening to you as well."
He kind of just nods and goes, "At least one of you speaks the language," and walks past you guys. But you see Groloun there kind of nod and gesture forward.
Yep. Rosalind takes a step and follows.
And if you guys... Oh, go ahead.
Esther's just gonna look at Groloun. Is he usually like that?
Are you asking this to the dwarf?
Yeah.
Who doesn't speak common?
He speaks very broken common. He goes, angry man.
There.
Plus angry man.
Imagine he does like a lot of like vague hand gestures trying to think of a word.
Yeah. At one point he kind of goes, anger, and then does the thing where it's height, except he's like reaching way above his head.
Esther
and then he goes, money, and his other hand meets that same height.
Ah. Makes sense.
He kind of nods as you guys seem to take to it, and he goes, and once more gestures.
I got the gist, at least, of a very impressive tirade against him, despite the anger and money levels.
Yeah,
and you see him kind of like turn just a little bit red in the top.
That was in Dwarvish, so you could understand.
and you see him turn like a little bit red at the top of his cheeks, and he kind of goes, I didn't, I forgot you understood.
I didn't understand all of it, don't worry, but, I think I caught the general direction.
Astra puts his hand up to where the doors was as well, and it's like, you go.
And the dwarf kind of nods, and he goes, I'll teach you the local, way to get things you want, once we get some meals.
I like this village.
But you guys begin walking. Remind me, Rosalind and Esther. No, not Esther. Just Rosalind doesn't have dark vision, right?
Yes, I do. 120 feet of it, and I don't think Rosalind has quite realized that the nights are lighter not because of winter and snow on the ground, but because she got a little present from the patron.
Okay.
She can see further than anybody right in the dark right now, and it's not going to be a
True.
thing until
Fair
she
enough.
points something out beyond 60 feet away, and they're all like, what?
Yeah. And actually, that thing that you would see is the beginnings of color. Not color as in like bright greens or anything, but the reflection of the small light from the top of the hole. As you guys get deeper and deeper in, there's this oil slick glow to the walls, little like ore patches. Let's say, Xenia, if you want, you can roll me a nature check to figure out what kind of ore this is.
Just for the fun of it, Rosalind will kind of mention, oh, that is actually very beautiful, while it's still out of sight of everybody else.
You see the dwarf go, sorry, what is?
The lights on the walls. The glimmers.
And you see him kind of squint. And he goes,
Up far ahead, you can just see it in light through this tunnel.
he kind of just looks at you.
Rosalind, are you okay?
Oh yes, I'm fine. It's just up
Because-
ahead, it's perfectly in view.
It's pretty dark
No.
up there.
Well yes, it's
It's
dark.
not.
It's dark a distance beyond it. But
Rosalind,
there's enough light filtering down
Astra,
here that it's fine.
Astra does the thing where he like does the pinhole in the hand just to like get a slightly further glance. He's like, no, and imagine they like walk another 60 feet and then it comes into view. And I imagine Conrad's gone. But Squirt, we're probably gonna keep running with it.
Rosalind, we can see in the dark. Can you see in the dark?
Of course not, don't be ridiculous. I'm human.
You don't need a lantern?
And no, there's enough light in here.
No.
Are you sure?
Well yes, of course. I can see all of you perfectly well.
Astra like walks over and like steps in front of Rosalind's like, I'm gonna be forward, I'm having trouble seeing everything in this area.
Well, it's not bright, per se, but, well, at least not for far, but...
Astra puts light in his hand. This is bright.
Oh, that is
The
much...
dwarf kind of like immediately
Wait.
cover his eyes. He goes, stop.
All right, yes, you didn't need to light something up quite that intense. Whatever is providing light in here is, far dimmer and more subtle.
And as you kind of go to point at the hole behind you,
At the hole behind
Roll.
Conrad. We're gone!
God. Oh no.
Oh, apparently the horse chimed in.
Very good eyes.
Rosalind, I think you might be able to see in the dark.
Better than us, too.
Much better.
I don't fully understand.
Astra like
It's not
curve
that
his
dark in
palm,
here.
cast light on it, and just like direct the light forward. Like, about how far can you see here?
If there's some kind of, if there's some kind of landmark or indication or, you know, that one outcropping on the wall where it's not very smooth.
Yeah, we
And he
can't
looks
see
over. It's like,
those.
have you ever usually been able to see something that dark, even with a light in a dark tunnel?
I haven't much experience with lights and dark tunnels, to be honest. But
When has this been
hindsight-
happening?
I don't know. This is the first time I've noticed.
Look, we can run some trials during nighttime, perhaps.
Well, I suppose this would be a good place as any to test. You're faint.
No, I was just talking quietly so you could finish up.
Okay. She's just going to say, I suppose this is as good a place as any to do those trials. Ever since the first snow, it's been a fair bit brighter outside. Reflect the light.
Actually, like, curls his lip under, like, his front teeth and just, like, that's, snow can give a bit of light.
But not that much.
Do you mean to imply you've been seeing well during the night?
Well, rather better than I had, during even this last autumn. I just assumed that it was the snow.
Rosalind, the turning of the seasons doesn't help humans that much.
Well, yes, it was unusual, yes, but, I didn't think it was that far. Though now that I am actually thinking about it, it does seem a little strange.
We are all a bit unusual, I guess. But that makes it easy. Now it's only Kai's we have to worry about.
Is there any way to grant somebody better vision in the dark?
There's the dark vision spell, out of character.
Yeah.
You notice as Thorn actually climbs on the top of your head, Rosalind, and is waiting for you to look through his eyes so that you can see.
Yeah, if he indicates that, then she'll go ahead and switch between, and 60 feet, 120 feet,
Yeah,
60 feet, 120 feet.
Yeah, and it's pretty much equal. The only difference is the 10 feet around you, you can just sense things a lot better through hearing. But
like
otherwise, it looks the exact same.
What's better, this or this? This or this?
Actually, Rosalind has much further dark vision than Thorn.
Ripped off optometry.
Like, Thorn's dark vision bottoms out at 60 feet. Rosalind goes on for double that.
Yeah. So as you look through Thorn's eyes, your vision gets worse.
Yeah. And she'll kind of have a oh moment. Switch back to herself. You were right. I'm seeing much further than Thorn can.
Did anybody possibly cast something on you? Give you anything?
She gets plenty of magic from a certain source.
I'm wondering if that might be it.
Maybe ask your friend some questions this evening.
I can look into it. I have a feeling about one or two things, otherwise that I'd like to check in on.
Any other
for tonight.
weird oddities about the changing of the seasons? Just to make sure.
The horse kind of, under its breath, kind of goes, "It gets cold."
She'll just turn his head. It's like, that'll do, horse.
That'll do.
Yes, boss.
Well, I'm not feeling the cold as much as usual, but that's probably because of these, and she kind of taps the boot on the ground as she walks.
Oh, right, I'm still wearing those.
And as you guys can look down, you notice Rosalind's boots are slowly becoming more red.
Oh, come on. Of course they are.
You guys you don't notice it as you're looking at it. But when you compare it to your guys' boots, they're way more red.
Does everything just become rose-colored?
We got the same set, right? The same shop?
If there was any color variation, I didn't notice.
Bought them at the same time, they were all the same.
I don't think everything becomes red around me, and she's checking, the under part of her dress, and that part's white, so she kind of quickly checks her cloak, which is green.
Oh,
are you kidding me, Conrad?
The underside of your cloak is pink.
The underside of the cloak?
Sorry, the underside of the dress you said was white?
Yeah, her long sleeves, and
yeah,
it's layered.
It's very likely peach pink now.
God damn it, Conrad, I do colors intentionally as an artist.
I am so sorry. I had this planned from a long time ago.
Just request the patron fuck off.
Yeah.
Alright, you mess with my eyes. That's one thing. You do not mess with my fashion.
It's Rosalind, so probably.
I have seen the way you wear suits. And no, sir, no.
Oh, Fae beings and their fashion sense.
Yeah, she's okay with pink. Pink's okay, but yeah.
The internal Ariel on the Photoshop coloring step is just like.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, don't mess with her coat or scarf or whatever.
Okay. Duly noted.
Mm-hmm.
But after about maybe an hour and a bit's walk, this ore in the walls is becoming a lot more frequent. There's this very dim gleam anytime any kind of light is reflected off the walls and it bounces across the room. It ends up actually lighting things pretty well. Xena, you didn't actually roll high enough to figure out what kind of ore it was.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, Asha will, for one, just like drag a finger across any exposed door.
You do. It's very smooth, and if you like drag the nail too, it's hard.
And then he'll just like, in like a cupped hand, so it doesn't blind everyone, just like cast light and kind of like drag it across the section.
Yeah. As you do, you ever like shine a flashlight into the little bulb of a lamp when it's off, and it just like spreads out to the whole room?
Yep.
It basically does that. Not nearly as bright, but it reflects a lot more light than
kind of glassy.
Not so much glassy. It's more like when you do it on water that has a dark underneath, and it reflects off in this like wave pattern.
Okay.
It's almost like a green light as opposed to the white light you produce. But you see,
maybe with the green light, the pink will turn back to white.
You can hope. You see the dwarf kind of notice you doing that, and he says something to Rosani because you guys not recognize this stuff or?
I don't. I haven't really made a study of ores in nature.
Oh yeah. I suppose you guys don't. I guess you don't learn that in school much, do you?
My education focused otherwise.
I suppose if you don't live underground, you don't need it as much.
So what is it?
And he says a word that you don't. Roll me a history check to see if you can translate it properly.
20.
Okay. He says something along the lines of the blood of the mountain. But you would know that this is instead translated to adamantine. Or sorry, not adamantine. I think it's mithril.
Mithril.
Yeah, mithril.
Okay, cool.
And this does kind of click a note in the back of your head where it's like, right, that's why they're kind of been left alone by a lot of the spellcasters. Their armor and weapons are distinctly like well made with this mithril.
So what does mithril do?
Wasn't the archdruid wearing mithril, or am I thinking of something else?
No, he was wearing mithril.
Yeah. Okay.
What is mithril?
It's basically a very light metal, and so basically your heavy armor isn't as heavy. There's some mechanic for it that I can't remember.
Basically, anything that requires a strength score to wear no longer does. And if you're wearing heavy armor, it counts as medium for proficiency sake. If you're wearing medium, it counts as light proficiency sake. And anyone can wear the light armor.
Oh my god, we need to get Esther armor.
We need to case Esther in mithril.
I was about to say, we can just put her in armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's again one of the big reasons they're left alone, because when you put a wizard in armor and to give them a sword that can cut through pretty much anything, and then get them magic, it's pretty intense.
Or you can just like toss like some decent like metal armor on like a farmer.
Yeah, exactly. And pretty much anyone that has any kind of military training, regardless, can have plate mail, basically.
Okay, so the goal of mine is to find armor Awesome. Good to know.
Well, if there was ever a plus.
Hey, you could stick, I think you could probably stick Rosalind in half-plate and she'd have better armor class than she does right now, with mage
That's
armor.
true.
She's proficient in light, so...
I imagine Ashton wouldn't bump up to heavy, because he'd still have the, Actually, no, you also wouldn't have to worry about the, disadvantage for stealth checks for any
Yeah.
armor you make.
Because I think that it's just, like, flavor-wise so well-fitted it doesn't clank or something.
It's intrinsically magical, and it's,
Yeah.
again, it's more of, it weighs nothing, so the boot on the ground doesn't make a sound. So it's just padding between the plates that you have to worry about.
Okay. So yeah, armor
That's-
for
that's a-
everybody.
that's a
That's
little
a
bit
long-term goal.
Yeah, that is a little bit homebrew on my part, but that's how.
Thank you for giving me some form of future protection.
Oh god,
Oh no,
yeah.
it's totally a thing.
Rosalind in half-plate would be 15 plus dexterity modifier max 2, and that's 2 better than her mage armor and gives her another invocation to play with.
And then stick Ashton heavy armor and good night to everybody.
I just want one that's above 11. That's all I desire.
Hey man,
That's fair.
if we can get Asha like a freaking like Batman suit.
Oh god, he would do that too, wouldn't he?
Modern AU, Ashley dresses up as Batman for Halloween.
I think
I don't
that
know,
was
just give
decided already.
Or you can even get some Xenia some pretty decent armor too.
Yep, proficient in medium armor, so.
If we're
Oh
gonna
my
go-
god. Stick a druid in heavy armor, Jesus.
Okay,
Also-
yeah, we've got another goal someday.
It also
Someday.
might be a good idea because if we're gonna go to this castle to fight Bo and all these other probably weird little creatures, I don't want to die again.
I guess this would be slightly reminiscent, wouldn't
Yeah.
I have diamonds now.
We're getting Ash and Iron Man. That is what we're doing here.
Yeah, we are
What
following
is-
a dwarf right now and chatting about, I guess, ore.
Potential armor.
We haven't gotten that far, I think, in character. Rosalind might just barely have mentioned to the others that it's Mithril.
Alastor would ask what Mithril is.
Okay,
Please.
fair.
Desert Lady.
Yeah.
And then upon explanation, her eyes light up. Protection.
That might be something to look into, but,
Tyler.
From my somewhat admittedly distant understanding, I believe it's somewhat expensive. We would have to do some major favors or get quite a bit of funds in order to secure any.
That's their goal right now. Good to know.
Perhaps later investments.
So I don't die. Yes, it might be a bit.
Man, what would Ash's AC get to?
Oh my god, it's not.
What are the odds he can get full plate with plus dex?
I don't think it works that way, but
Medium armor master? Would that?
medium
Isn't
armor
that the
master
thing?
is +1 to your medium armor.
Yeah, but isn't it also the thing that the dex maxes it in order for that feat?
No, really it's more the dex maximum goes up by 1.
Ah, okay.
That's why I was thinking it was +1. I'm
Is
sorry.
the stealth bit ignored as well?
Yes, because
Okay.
Engel had that. So she added 3 of her dex to that base on half plate.
Huh.
So yeah.
Wait. Well, I'm just wondering now, would like half plate Mithril on Asha remove his dex cap?
I doubt it unless Conrad ruled your half plate was special somehow.
Mithril half plate, I mean.
Yeah. As As far as I know, Mithril doesn't remove the dexterity cap on medium. That would be a DM ruling and homebrew thing.
Yeah, alright.
Oh,
You just need
Conrad,
the proficiency with it.
Conrad's Discord just crashed.
Oh,
Ah.
damn.
That's what did it. Okay. I knew
Well,
he was
So it's like
wondering.
offline.
If there's gonna be a brief interlude, I'm gonna run BRB real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we
Also,
are all
I wrote
using a Mithril.
I wrote a limerick.
Oh.
Tyler, no.
Okay. Is it the amputee? Is it the lady in the amputee?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course it is.
Oh my
Christ.
god. What is this gonna be? Because you're putting it in the Discord chat and that's not gonna show up on the recording. Unless one of
Good.
us reads it. Oh, we don't need
What?
to read it then.
We may.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it can be edited to be better, but this is the original thought.
Oh, I suppose Conrad's already done a little homebrewing with the mithril armor, because in the book it's not light, it's only medium or heavy. So,
Jesus
probably because light
Christ.
metal is, light armor tends to be hide or leather. What have we got? Oh dear.
So you were like PUBG, and I'm like, okay. Limerick time.
Yep.
Lou,
Hello.
Hello.
is he back yet?
Not yet.
Oop. Okay.
We've got a limerick though.
A limerick?
Yeah. Scroll down the jokes chat.
Memes and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
Ugh.
Oh boy.
Why did he put it in the incorrect quotes?
I think because that's what he was on and accidentally didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, ooh, someone put a quote. Oh, nope.
Yeah. Looks like he's out of Roll20 as well.
Hardy.
Okay, you general restarting computer gonna be a bit. Yeah, technical issues.
Oof. I like how we're following this dwarf. Just, where are we going, buddy?
We're going to his family home.
Yep.
Take us to your brother.
Yeah. All of them. All 14. 13, I don't know.
It's like we save him from dying, and then we meet his parents. Damn.
You know.
Shit moves fast.
What are we, man?
Somebody looks over. What are we?
Where is this going?
What are we?
I mean, you seem like a nice guy and all.
What
Seems
are
to
we?
be moving a
You're
little too quickly.
tourists.
I'm just not sure I'm ready for that kind of commitment.
He wasn't ready for the commitment of having one fucking arm, but look what happened.
Yeah, that
I
wasn't our
don't
fault.
know. I think he's gonna need a hand from now on.
Wow, you think that one up yourself?
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Rosalind now has the resources to lend him one. New cantrip.
Ah, I was like,
Yeah,
I was
right?
like,
Mage
did
hand.
she?
I took mage
You
hand.
took.
yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you
I
scared
got
the
it eventually,
fuck out
but
of
it's just
me.
like,
Yeah.
did
I
you get
know.
regeneration?
I know, I'm
What
sorry.
kind of vain bullshit have you been up to?
You scared the fuck out of me for a solid minute. I'm like, when did we go corpse looting? Why did you pull a rocket? I'm gonna get that arm.
Yeah, it was a terrible thing to joke about when you guys didn't know the punchline, but boy, the leaps of logic you guys took, worth it.
I was like, wow, Rosalind's got a really fucking big dark side. Yikes.
Oh, Chaos Eye Handers. Oh, that's a Dark Souls thing. I love it.
Okay, I just found it and I'm just like, someone's gonna understand this.
Oh, also, I found the armor I want. I should have now.
Oh,
Full plate stealthy armor.
yeah. Just an AC of 18 always.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
badass.
Yeah, you're going edgelord. Is that from
Yes.
Skyrim?
No, I think it's.
Aw.
Oh, what's it from?
Dragon
My
I
Age?
image.
downloaded like a bunch off a wiki.
Okay. Fair.
The image failed. It's not working. Come on, brother.
Hold on.
Well,
Let me try
then
and-
you just put a big cloak around it, right? And
I'll
then that's
screenshot.
how you have full edgelord.
Yes, it is.
Don't you have a cloak or like something?
Yeah, no, he
Kevin.
has the stealth one, but no, like full, like almost to the ground.
Thank you, Rosalind. Ariel.
You're welcome.
Oh my god, you're gonna become a fucking superhero.
Oh, I love
We've
it.
been
You
through
look,
this. He's Batman.
you look like
Yeah.
Ultron. You look like a
He's
knockoff version of Ultron.
he's Van Helsing Batman. This like we've been over this.
Oh wait, do you think in modern AU Rayla and Astra are gonna do a thing? I need to find the comic for it.
I love how this is completely derailed in the absence of the DM. Oh, speaking of, he's back in roll 20.
This is what happens every time. It's
Probably up in Chrome before Discord.
Yeah. It's completely fair, but yep. I just, we're probably not too long off. I've seen that
It's a
comic.
comic.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want armor that's gonna protect her. I just don't want to die with an 11 AC.
Yeah, no.
Take mage armor, my dude.
Mage armor is good. That's what Rosalind's been running under.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the greatest, but it's at least something to go on.
I have Shield of Faith if you need it during combat, because that's one of my good spells. Don't have healing spells prepared right now, but damn do I got Shield of Faith.
Please. Please. Protect the squishy.
Yes, please
Oh,
do.
I do have Mass Healing Word prepared. Never mind, guys. I have 2 healing spells right now. Out of my 24.
Oh, this is a huge thing with... I didn't realize it was Mithril. It's in Lord of the Rings. It's in Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the original was Lord of the Rings, the mithril shirt that Frodo got from his Uncle Bilbo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that's the one that saved his life.
Yeah. And Bilbo, got it. I want to say it was from the Dragon Horde Spogs.
I thought it was from the elves.
No, I think that it was basically one of his prizes, one of his bits of loot, shares of loot from the Dragon Horde, I think. If I'm wrong, then somebody can look it up and correct me.
I'm just
Yeah.
dancing through it.
Yeah. And Bilbo got sting from a troll's horde. A troll cave.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Retrieved from the horde of dragon smog. Given to Bilbo by Thorin.
Gotta tag this video for Lord of the Rings spoilers.
Fuck.
Oh, he's online.
Okay. Have we got him closer sooner?
He's online and he's in the Roll20, so
We're
fingers
getting there.
crossed.
Come on, brother.
Yeah. Speaking of mithril armor, stick Rosalind in half plate, but she's still wearing a skirt. Combat dress.
Yeah.
Ashta, why is Rosalind pissed at you? Because I told her that she has to protect her legs and not wear a skirt in battle.
It's a combat dress.
It's half plate. It tends to leave the legs alone for the most part, except for, like, I think Greaves? Hi, Conrad.
Hey, Conrad.
He's back.
How
I
was
had to
it?
hard restart my computer.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
My apologies. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well. There's the computer, it's technical stuff. We've been talking mithril and, stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say before I cut out, basically the dwarf, being a dwarf, decides to explain to you all the fun uses of mithril and all that, which gives you guys fuel to talk about it in character.
Okay, we start getting ideas. Good to know.
Awesome.
Is there anything Mithril can do with like uncapping the dex cap on like medium armor?
Rosalind will relay the question in Dwarvish if it's asked.
In character version of that.
Can it make well, my friend here has some experience in armor, and apparently some of the medium versions restrict your lightness of feet in battle. Does Mithril make that any easier?
He does the kind of come saw motion with his hand. It kind of goes. The issue there becomes more uh, freedom of movement rather than weight.
Hmm.
I'm sure if you got a very skilled craftsman, yes, but
Well, you
not
isn't
mithril
it-
on its own. No,
Isn't it said that even a breastplate of Mithril can be hidden under regular clothing?
If you do
Is
it right, yes.
So is that the skilled craftsman coming out? Reducing bulk?
Partially, yes. Typically, to make up for the from when you're talking about a breastplate, is the joints become unencumbered, and that's one thing, yes. However, still bending yourself over in half and having motion of your back is the issue.
Oh, I see. And she'll go ahead and relay that briefly to Ashta. Basically, if you get a really good craftsman to do it, possibly a little. But mostly it's joints and range of motion and being able to bend and twist.
You can like scratches the chin. It's like, can you ask him if enchantments do anything to remedy that?
She'll go ahead and ask, how does Mithril take to enchantments? Are there any that could take care of that limitation?
Well, I mean, you get you get a piece of same design similar to leather, let's say, and you just make it enchanted to be stronger. It's just as good as having a mithril half plate. The enchantment makes up the difference. As for mithril on top of that, I mean, you could, yes, but it's not as necessary. It takes enchantments as well as any metal, as far as I know. That's my area of expertise.
It's somewhat of an
And
area I've been looking into recently, so there was a little curiosity for me.
Hey,
Cousin,
enchanters can always find good work here if you want to practice.
I'm still in training stages myself, but I'd be happy to look into it.
Oh, an apprenticeship for a few weeks, time to learn.
Perhaps if we ever stay that
Rosalind,
long. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Esther?
can you ask him about prices of armor?
Esther's asking about prices for armor.
You see a
Of
bit of a
that type.
toothy. You see like a toothy grin come out of the mustache, and he goes, "That's a number you may not like very much."
Well, it's perhaps more a goal to work towards if possible.
Well, for what kind of armor are you looking for?
Esther, what kind?
Light armor, light armor.
Is there a light variety of mithril? Not just
There's
medium armor
this.
made light, but...
Well, with that situation, what we typically do is we make almost a vest out of these threads of mithril, similar to leather. Um, but the pricing, it's hefty, specifically for that kind of armor because it is so light. Even those just can wear a shirt can wear that. It's a little bit more expensive. Making the threads takes time. A really good piece puts you about 500, 600 gold.
Okay.
Ash, I'll say like Asher like pulls out a notebook and just like doing like weird, stupid, rough sketches of things. It's like, okay, but what if it was all fabric and also like segmented armor? It's like, oh,
Yeah, it's fully possible to create basically wear plate armor, and then basically just as a shirt underneath, essentially have leather armor on top of that.
Does it really stack like that? Can you stack like benefits
You
that
can.
way?
It's not super comfortable, but you can do it.
That seems
That's
weird
basically how
to...
you would turn heavy armor into actual heavy armor with mithril.
Okay.
Basically, if you want to basically keep the disadvantage on stealth and make it mithril still, you can wear two pieces effectively. Put it that way. It would increase armor class to like 21 as opposed to 19, but a buff's a buff.
Awesome. Good to know.
Good God. Okay. So yeah, and if we mention, all right, that is an idea for light armor. If she were to go towards a more medium set, one of those breastplates, or even half plate or full, I'm guessing the price increases. Is it exponentially, or
no,
is
no,
it
no.
in
It's actually
increments?
it's cheaper that way. It's a single piece of metal as opposed to a woven fabric that we have to turn into fabric and then weave.
Yeah, the breastplate would be a single piece of metal. The others are segmented, of course.
Well, yes, but still, it's easier than making the weave.
Oh, interesting.
For again a decent piece, you can probably find a breastplate for the range of 350, 400 gold pieces if you get a good price.
And half for full plate? More pieces,
That's
more
a bit
work?
pricier, but closer to 800, 900.
And Conrad, is that the half plate? Or is that both?
Half plate.
Half plate is around 800?
800, 900, yeah. A full plate mail would be equivalent to basically 2,000.
Okay. I have noted things down as, like, benchmark goals. It's either we do some real big favors with just the right connections, or, yeah, we're mugging a lot of dragons and we know what we're spending a chunk on, eventually.
A dragon is currently available to mug.
Absolutely.
Iron Man suit.
Yeah, once Rosalind gets to enchanting on these things, we could have a lot of fun. But, yep, okay.
And as you kind of guys continue this conversation, you round the corner, And you see the dwarf's face kind of go pale as he realizes where he is. And you guys basically turn the corner and enter a room full of probably like 150 well-armored dwarves. And looking around, you can see this. Everything in this room has that. Every wall, every floor, except for the hole you guys just walked through, is covered in that ore. And there are piles of gold and gems and everything around you. And the dwarf kind of like whispers outside of his mouth to you, Roz, and goes, "Ah, he took the direct route to the vault. Oh." And every single one of these dwarves in the room is just looking at you guys. And you see uh, Groloun kind of like raise his hand, and he kind of goes, "Hey there, just returned from being kidnapped. These folks helped me survive. Just gonna leave out the front door. That's all right with you folks." It's dead silent.
Is this where the dragon attacked, then?
And you see like the dwarves all turn to face you, and a couple of them like their eyebrows knit together.
We saw it leaving.
One of them in like this heavy plate mail, holding this axe. He kind of says, "Aye, it seems like it.
Hmm.
Who are you folk?"
Travelers, we were going up the mountain, trying to reach Citadel. We saw the side explode outwards, and the dragon and several wyverns fly off.
You see him kind of nod and says, "Well, keep your hands to yourselves." He gestures towards it, a heavy, well, like bank door that you'd expect. It's got the turn knob, like the wheel of a captain of a ship. Sorry, um, and everything. It's just been opened up normally, and he kind of gestures for you guys to go through, and people kind of part ways so you can step through.
Rosalind
You can hear
nods,
from
keeps her...
inside the vase. You can hear from inside the vase, Pyrrhus just going like, "Oh, it smells amazing."
Oh my god, Esther's just gonna plug the top
Put
of the
it, do we have a
vase.
cork? We should get a cork. Just thump.
No one seems to take notice of the voice. It's very quiet.
Yeah.
Esther calmly
Can-
puts her hand over top of the vase.
Can Asher just like give a glance around and see if there's anything other than gems and gold?
Yeah, easy enough to see. There's a lot of like chests unopened, and some that are opened. One of the ones that are open are just filled with like papers, and scrolls. Um, there's this very ornate set of armor in one of the corners, covered in like scratch marks and seemingly like uh, acid burned on the helmet. Number of things like you'd expect almost from a dragon's hoard.
Real quick,
No art pieces, but all stuff that's either crafted or just metal.
real quick, the dragon we saw flying off was red, right?
Yes.
All right.
And yeah, walk through the room, hands to self.
And you can feel every eye looking at you guys as you step through. And once you step through the vault doors, um, there's just even more people. These ones aren't as armored. It seems like they're like either investigators or people just from the bank. A lot of them are seemingly asking questions to each other. It's with your not quite as comfortable grasp on Dwarvish. It's a lot to take in at once. You can understand most of it, but it's a lot of translating in your own head.
Yeah.
I want to say one guy walks in with a mithril tie.
There's probably something like that. At least like a gorget. Gorget?
I don't know, Gorget?
Jorget? I don't know. The neck brace on a set of plate armor.
Yeah.
Giblet?
Nope.
No. A giblet is something you,
Giblet is what that fire elemental turned you into.
yeah.
Ah.
No, sorry, that's a giblet.
Well, yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, so you guys step through, up the stairs, and out into seemingly like a kind of like an old west cowboy style bank.
Is this
Walls are made of wood. Sorry,
Is this cowboy times?
no, but it's how I'm gonna translate it
Sorry.
to you guys, so I don't have to
Sorry, stupid joke.
spend the entire time
I thought
explaining
you'd
it.
seen it.
Red Dead Redemption. Here we go.
Well, you are red. You were dead, and you are trying to get redeemed.
What am I redeeming of?
Your life, I don't know.
Eh. The only connection I can make is we have a horse.
Also fair.
Who poops?
He does poop. And we're not going to talk about what happens when you guys go to different weathers.
Oh,
So-
no. Okay.
So yeah, you guys step through. The horse seems to be rather skittish with all this going on. You see him kind of like walk up to the dwarf, kind of like start nosing him. The dwarf kind of just gives him a weird look and turns to Roslyn and goes, "Does he do this often?"
Ashta.
Mm.
Please find out if Lucy is troubled by something.
He'll kind of walk over and kind of wave a hand in front.
And the horse kind of goes, "Let the dwarf touch."
Apparently, she tells the dwarf, he'd like you to lay a hand on the shoulder, or the fetlock, whichever you can reach.
And he kind of gives you a strange look, and you rest the one arm against it, and you see Lucy kind of shrink down and get stockier. And you actually see he grows a horse beard.
Oh my god, it's the unicorn
God.
beard on a horse.
Basically, yeah.
Some horses do actually grow mustaches.
Yeah, no, it's a full beard. Like his snout is now his mouth is probably like 6 feet off the ground now, where it was closer to 8 before that. And the beard reaches like halfway down.
Jesus.
Does that stay? Take the hand off real quick. Oh, hello.
Mhm.
Conrad gone.
Conrad's gone.
Conrad. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Hate my
There he is.
internet.
Oh, we hear
Oh,
you.
oh, oh.
Oh, okay. Well, it's gonna disconnect me in a second, anyways. So, there we go. So yeah, he takes the hand off it, kind of like jolting as he realizes the beard comes into fruition. And the horse kind of puffs back up and kind of like rears up on its back legs, and you see people inside the bank kind of give it a weird look. And then he puts his front hooves back down, and the dwarf once more puts his hand on it and it shrinks down.
Does the beard stay between the different sizes?
No.
Okay.
And you do also notice that his eyes, the Lucy, his eyes change color to this deep black iris. Once he's in the bearded form.
So a very like horse-like eyes.
Well, some horses have like these brown eyes, and he usually does have like darker brown. These are like jet black.
All right.
And the dwarf kind of goes, "Should I hop on its back? I don't want to walk around holding hands with a horse."
No, it's Ash will just like go. It's like, all right, that's done. Anything else? To the horse.
And the horse kind of just whinnies and goes, "Easier to move now."
Perhaps it would be best for you to go mounted in that case.
Yes, I imagine you shouldn't be walking around with the blood loss you've probably incurred as well.
He kind of nods and goes to take your hand, and the horse jumps up taller again, and he goes,
Ash will do like the kind of like boost up, like hands intertwined.
"Yep," and he hops on, and as soon as he sits on its back, it immediately shrinks down, so he just drops another 2 feet. Which in that time he drops 2 feet, it grows back up, so it just like pegs him in the groin. He just kind of, ah!
Oh, me nards.
And then it shrinks back down, and he's like, "Good horse," patting its neck.
Um,
Right in the
Jesus
kaniki.
just direct us which way we're going, and we'll figure
You see
it
his
out.
eyes are closed right now, and he's like, you can see like a tear is coming out one, and he goes, "Will do."
Whenever you are recovered.
He just nods and kind of like pats the horse in the head, like the center of the head, and says, "Forward." You're pretty sure he doesn't know how to ride.
Esther's trying not to laugh because that was kind of
Ash-
funny.
Ash will like tell the horse just to be, uh, listen to what he does. I don't worry if he's a bit inexperienced.
And he kind of just nods and goes, "Don't speak, small man."
I'll translate. He says to go forwards.
"Thank you, eye lady." And he starts walking forward and kind of has to crouch down to get through the door, and you see the dwarf kind of flatten onto its back.
You know,
Also-
I sincerely hope that that's not the name that you are going to refer to me by permanently now.
You have good eyes.
Yes, but Eye Lady is a little bit strange.
I mean, come on, eye lady. We're all a
Stick
bit
with-
strange.
Stick with Rose Lady.
Flower lady it is.
Ash like gives like a sympathetic shrug.
It's alright, eye rose lady. It's okay.
Don't listen to Fire Lady.
Flower lady is warm.
She's warm, but she doesn't say everything good.
But warm is good.
Warm is good. Mouth words
No
are not
worm
good.
is good.
He kind of just grumbles.
I
As he kind of like flicks his ear as he makes the grumbling noise, you see the dwarf kind of like grab onto the ears and start kind of tweaking them to tell him which way to go. The horse catches on pretty quick, and
No, just take the saddle. You can't understand. Oh, hey, look, an entrance.
yeah, you guys walk for maybe 15 minutes through the city, and each of the buildings here are kind of like oh fuck, I'm forgetting my own city names. Please hold. Kind of like Peduncle was all trees grown from the ground and was this one collective body. It's like this entire city was carved out of a single block of stone. Every building is just the ground just slopes up into walls at a sharp angle, and it seems like someone just chiseled it out. No real windows, and you can see on the inside of most houses there's this carpet of moss on the ceiling that glows this slight green, almost like alien movies, like this like acid green, as assumedly a light source. And people are definitely staring at you guys as you walk by, but a lot of them are just running to the bank or making their way that way or away from there. Paying mostly their mind. You do see every once in a while things like a drow or a drogar or a deep gnome uh, walking through the streets, but they're relatively few and far between. Every once in a while, a genasi or two.
Duragars are kind of elementally too, aren't they?
Sort of. They're elementally if the Underdark was a elemental.
You might be
I-
thinking of Azers?
No, I could swear they were like.
They have. Well, how about this? Have Ash to roll a let's go with a nature check.
Right. Would this be with advantage even if they are not because he's trying to discern whether they are or aren't?
That's when Ash.
as
That's when
I already kind of gave you the yes or no of that. This is more for just Morty.
All right. $18.
It's enough to know that you know they're well attuned to the Underdark. And they have been seen on the plane of Earth before, but it's about as often as you'd see like an elf on one of the elemental planes, or say like a tiefling on the plane of fire.
What is it, sorry?
Duragar.
Thank you. What the heck is that?
A deep dwarf.
Ah,
I'm thinking of something else that this is gonna bug me. I'll figure it out.
I'm pretty sure that's how you spell the name.
Nope. Take out the first R.
Duergar.
Oh, sorry, Duragar. Yeah.
Duergar. They're close cousins, only they don't have beards and they have afros instead.
Basically.
I'm sure the picture in the players in Monster Manual had a beard.
Yeah, they do. They usually have like white hair.
No, I'm saying the Duergards are those.
I see.
And did you notice that these Duragars all have like white hair and these like alabaster eyes? They're creepy looking motherfuckers, basically. But you guys walk through the streets. Everywhere you can hear the sounds of people like talking to each other, mostly jovially. Others yelling, the sounds of hammers, the sounds of fabric being made. Every once in a while you hear like animal sounds, but you don't recognize any of them. And you get brought to this quieter district where it's more so people walking around the streets, shopping on little side stalls, people leaning out of windows, assumedly residential or something. And he gestures towards a small house. It's got this like yellowish paint, almost beigeish, I guess, on the outside. And he goes like, says to Rosalind, he says, "I should probably let my family know what's going on, and that I'm missing an arm."
Hmm.
And
If
he
you need a little
hops off the
time,
horse.
we'll just wait out here.
Yeah, just wait outside until I open the door and bring you in. All right? Sorry.
Of course.
And he kind of hops off, and the horse grows back up, so he almost trips on the way down.
Rosalind will mention to the rest we're waiting outside while he settles things with his family and the changed circumstances. Conrad? Guys?
and he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
we're
we
here.
lost Conrad again.
Yep.
Ah, Conathan.
Small thing Ashton might kind of just do during today. I don't think this requires much GM thing unless I'm somehow right on this crazy assumption. Not assumption, crazy like shot in the dark. But he's basically just going to go to at some point just like offhandedly mention this very wrong recollection of something the party has done in the past.
Hmm?
So, for example, he might just go up to Xenia and it's like, "Do you remember when we fought Bo and I went down first and you kind of hung on for a while?"
Yeah, that's when you guys just flew off, and oh yeah, that was the spider stuff, and then after that it was the hag and lol. Oh.
Yeah, and I was stuck tied up the whole time.
Yeah, that was a fight and a half. Wait, I don't. Were you tied up that whole time?
You kind of.
Conrad.
Yep.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh,
Keep
that's
going.
fine.
Keep going.
No, it's like, no, I was stuck there the whole time. Remember? You're the one who finished off the hag.
Oh no, I didn't get a hit on that hag.
And he just goes right, and just
What?
walks off.
Xenia, what the fuck?
Quick feign from Rosalind to Ashta, just asking, what was that?
What's wrong?
You are asking very strange questions. It's still you, because the Feign are speaking.
Yeah, he just sighs. Is like, well, I guess that's the worry, isn't it? My end, at least.
You think that one of us has been replaced again?
I don't think I worry, and it's not even a replacement. Something happens, memories aren't what they used to be. I'm not taking chances.
Okay.
This is
That
Fane.
was all Fane. So none of you heard it.
Okay.
They just exchanged weird glances.
Yep.
There were the odd facial expressions, so you knew telepathy of some kind was going on.
Yep. And then after that, he will then telepathy over to Zinnia. And I'm just making sure things are they usually are. That's all.
Things are.
And it's not just with you because of recent goings on.
I'll believe that when I see it.
And he kind of turns out it's not sure how you can see it, but
When I hear it.
he just shrugs and well, this is gonna be there's gonna be no end to the tactics thrown at us. Call me paranoid, but and just mental equivalent of a shrug, and he keeps walking.
Where are you
just-
walking?
Yeah, we're kind
Well,
of parked outside
we're
this
waiting.
dwarf's house.
Yeah, I was just this was over the course of stuff. It was just while Conrad was gone, just didn't know how long he'd be.
Oh, okay, it's not right now. Okay.
Basically on the walk here.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys kind of wait there for a minute. You hear a lot of chattering, probably some crying inside the house. Um, not happy sounds, but after about 10 minutes go by, uh, you see Groloun kind of stick his head back out. You see his hair is all mussed up now, and his beard has it's a little bit damper than it was before. He goes, "You guys can come in now."
Are his eyes red?
Not really.
Rosalind stands up, relays the invitation to everybody else, just to make sure it's understood, and we'll go ahead and head in.
All right.
And as you guys enter, it's again very dim in here, but the moss on the ceiling makes it enough that it's dim light, so it's bright for anyone with dark vision. And you enter, and there's 30 dwarves in here, and for the most part, they all look adult. There's a couple, probably about 10 of them are ladies. 2 of them have beards, smaller but beards, and they're all kind of talking to each other. And as you guys enter, a lot of them look at you. And the room you're in is pretty large, maybe about 50 feet in any direction. There's these kind of same beige paint on all the walls, green moss on the ceiling, tables and chairs all thrown about the room. I believe Zine, you have the highest passive perception, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you would notice that on most of the chairs, there is something carved into the seat, some kind of rune. If you point them out to Rosalind, she'd tell you they're basically all names.
Okay.
On the butt of the chair, and not the little backside.
Like the edge of the seat.
Okay.
Yeah, like if it was a bar stool, like the rounded edge that goes down.
Okay.
And there's also this long table that goes throughout the entirety of this room. Maybe 30 by 20 feet. It's made of stone, like most everything in here. It seems to be a kitchen at the back left corner. And as you guys all look around, the doors kind of look at you for a second, and it's quiet. And they'll start talking to each other once again. You see plates and food being all brought out, and this little dwarven girl, maybe 8 years old in human years, kind of walk up to you guys and cross her arms together and look up at you, Rosalind.
Hello?
Hi. Did you steal Daddy's arm?
No, we did not.
And she's saying this in common, by the way. She was saying this in common, by the
Okay.
way.
A dragon did.
No.
You got a little dragon on your shoulder. You didn't take it?
Do you think this one's big enough?
Well, I don't know. Can it get bigger?
No.
Daddy says I'm gonna get bigger. Maybe the dragon does it too.
Not this one. I'm afraid the size he is simply the size he is. But
And you see her kind of like squint her eyes.
but do you want to see something he can do? And Rosalind
She
boofs him
takes a
into
step
the
back.
pocket dimension, and then boofs him out like within 30 feet.
And she kind of like looks and goes, So it's magic too, huh?
It's more that I'm magic, and he is magic along with me.
Are you one of the druids?
No. I'm a little bit different. So is Thorn, really, as far as, well, dragons go. You can say hello if you'd like.
And he looks at her and she says something resembling draconic. Esther, it is not any kind of word, but it's sort of equivalent to someone going, oh, I'm going to say something in French. La hello.
Yeah.
Esther's gonna look at Rosalind, she's attempting to say hello.
And Rosalind will kind of prompt Thorn to telepathy a hello back.
She gets kind of this like, she goes like cross-eyed for a second and goes, oh, okay, it's really magic. Okay. Well, as long as you guys aren't druids, and it's not technically a dragon, I guess you guys can stay.
No, honey, we're not druids.
I got my eye on you, though.
Okay.
Do you want to see something else?
She takes another step back.
Oh,
She takes a step to the
relax.
side just in case.
Esther pulls out Ember.
And you see, like, the conflict on this little girl's face. And she wants to run up to it. But she's trying to seem tough. And, like, the face morphs for, like, a second, and it's like, for a second, you see, like, no, no.
Rosalind will reach over and just kind of tickle the top of Ember's head. Couple of fingers, scritch, scritch.
You can, like, see tears welling up in the little girl's eyes.
He's very
It's
soft.
alright. Esther's gonna kneel down. It's okay to be tough, yet still enjoy something that's rather cute.
He looks so fluffy.
Do you want to hold him?
She doesn't say anything, but you can see her, like, biting her lip.
And
The
Ember,
like 1 millimeter up and down of the head.
Esther's gonna
Not
give,
even, you can just see the want in her eyes.
Esther will give a nudge, and then Ember will flutter up to her.
Okay, does he just, like flutter in
Yeah.
front of her? Or
Yeah, just flutter in front of her.
she just kind of looks at it and goes to pat it on the top of the head. And
He
the weight of her
cooes.
hand pushes him down like 6 inches in the air, and she just goes, oh, that. And she puts her hand palm up so he can land.
Yes, he's rather small.
And Ember lands in her hand, and she kind of like uses her fingers in the same hand to just scratch him all over, and Ember looks like he's loving it. And then she kind of like, basically like, tosses him towards you.
She'll catch him.
She basically crosses her arm and goes, okay, fine, you guys and the owl can stay.
It's very kind of you.
And there was something about a horse.
Oh
Aye.
dear.
The horse, I believe, is staying outside the doorways. He's a very big horse.
Can I want to see him. I want to take a look at him. Never met a horse I liked before.
Alright.
Well, if
Come
your
outside.
father says it's alright.
And you see he's completely distracted, and he's having some kind of conversation with a lady dwarf.
Esther will hold out her hand. Do you want to come see the horse?
She just walks past you with her arms crossed.
Ooh, feisty. And Esther will follow her out.
And as you kind of see her, she looks at the horse. The horse looks at her. The horse goes, hello. She just looks at the horse scared.
He talks. It's okay. He doesn't talk much, but he talks.
I still never met a horse I liked. And she walked back.
It's okay, Lucifer.
He looks so sad.
Oh.
It's not your fault, honey.
Did I say something wrong?
No, she's just being stubborn.
He kind of like rests his chin on your shoulder,
Hmm.
and then immediately bursts into flames.
Ah, there we go. Best not do that in here.
Just thump. Freaking Ghost Rider horse.
Sorry. Out of character. Sorry, I just got a text from Liv. Apparently, she's drunk as fuck right now. It's great.
Super.
It was her birthday yesterday.
Of course.
Keep in mind recording.
Yep, sorry, just got distracted.
Yep.
Totally lost my train of thought.
Clearly. We head back into the house after the dwarven girl.
Rosalind didn't go out.
Yeah. Esther will go back in the house.
If it was just Esther, then.
Esther will go back into the house.
As you do, the horse kind of says behind you. He just goes, warm is good. Just step back inside. It seems it's gotten a little more calm, and the young girl has sat down at the table. And the beginnings of meals are being put out.
What's the name on her chair?
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll me a history check first.
Sure. 9.
Okay.
9.
9.
So as you read it, the chairs, the thing written down on the chair is, carrier of ladies, chair of gems.
What the fuck?
It's a pretty standard stone chair, it looks like.
Okay.
Is that the same one?
Are all of the chairs labels that ornate poetic?
Yeah, every single one.
Interesting, okay.
Esther will just ask, what's your name?
To the young girl.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of like glances at you and she goes, Gallister, what about you?
Esther.
It's actually not the worst name ever.
Oh, thank you. I think Gallister is rather pretty.
If you say.
Not like I like it or anything. Dummy.
Baka. The only dwarf word that Ashton knows.
Is that what we're doing here? Okay.
No, it's absolutely not.
I was gonna say, like, you make dwarvish Japanese, I'm gonna throw a fit.
You want to open that door because oh boy.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
This mithril has been folded over 1,000 times.
If you make dwarvish Japanese, I would be pissed. That's not.
No, it's Scottish. Because of course it is. It's dwarf.
It's a lot of things. Okay.
So, one the Groloun that you guys helped, he kind of comes up to you guys and says, sit, eat. Thank you for you.
Just fall into Russian and grandma just like, sit, eat, have more.
Yeah,
What
I
are
can't do the
these?
accent I want to do, so I'm not trying too hard. But yeah,
some
his comment is very broken.
Sit, eat, all that fun stuff.
I have a few Pop-Tarts or something.
Yeah, where are the breakfast pastries at?
Oh god, yeah. No, I'm not even approaching that, Ariel.
Pronunciation.
Yeah, I couldn't even if I wanted.
Yeah.
The chair's name is Guzund, but no. You guys go to like pull out chairs, and these chairs got to weigh like 30 pounds each. Like it, for the most part, it squeaks across the floor as you drag them out. And
Rosalind only moves
Okay,
forward
brother.
as much as
What?
she needs to slip in sideways.
the problem is the tables are also a little bit lower than they should be. And so in the chairs, so your knees kind of fold up a little bit higher than they should. It's not comfortable. It's definitely not super comfortable in a dress.
That's going to be a bigger problem for some of us than others, but
Yeah, Esther, it's tiny for you.
Xenia.
I was gonna
And
say,
Xenia too, yeah.
Esther's just gonna cross her legs.
Yeah.
Just gonna like crisscross applesauce in the ground.
No, just on the chair, just crisscross
Yeah.
applesauce.
Oh, okay.
Or like in front of the chair, crisscross like the legs and pull up as much as they can.
Okay, gotcha. And the meals are right out to you. It smells rather good, honestly. The first meal it's put out is these entire like massive mushrooms, and inside, kind of like flipped upside down where the stalk is, the stalk's been removed, and it's like a cheese bowl with this like gooey, like tasty, like smelling thing on the inside.
Stuffed mushroom, basically.
Basically, but as you kind of like bite into it, it is spicy,
Oh god.
like really.
So
Esther
that,
is
like,
very happy.
performance or straight up constitution?
Asher's taste buds are as fucked as mine. Let's go.
Yeah, basically. I'm gonna say blanket. Ash and Esther are fine.
I was gonna say, Esther just kind of looks and goes, "This is delicious."
And you see one of the lady dwarfs with a beard. She kind of like beams at you as you say that.
And Asher's just imagining, looks, yeah, it's pretty good.
Um,
And he looks over and he's like, Roslyn, you good?
This is for
yeah,
my
Rosalind,
own
I assume you're trying to keep
curiosity.
composed, right?
Yeah, this is for my own curiosity. I want to do constitution.
Yeah, make that
and then
performance.
Noble woman,
I want to see. I want to
enjoy
see
the dinner.
constitution first to see if it hurts that much. Can I?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, she's holding it together probably.
Yeah, it's not unbearable, but let's see your performance how well you can not react poorly to it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
Oh. Yep.
Oh,
You've walked past one of Ash's meals before. This is fine. The scent alone is worse than this.
Just in case.
You know, the first bite singes enough of the taste buds that the following one she barely notices.
Basically, yeah. It's really good though. It's like nice and this gooey texture with and just enough crunch of like something like onions in there. It's good.
Yeah, nice try, Ashta. Her face is serene.
And let's see about you, Xenia.
con check?
Yeah, con check, see how well you can handle it first.
15.
Okay, yeah, not terrible. Let's see performance how well you keep composed. If you want to use something with wisdom instead, you can.
You need some more water there, Zinnia?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
And you see the little girl kind of roll her eyes, get off her stool, and come back to you with a glass of milk, you think?
Senior's gonna take a sip because it's milk, they think.
Doesn't taste quite like milk.
It's not milk, they realize.
Mushroom
Xenia
milk.
Milk from something other than a cow?
Senior will just just give a thank you, give a nod.
I think we might have lost Conrad.
Yeah.
Oh, Conrad.
I'm so sad.
This has
No,
been-
I don't think Asher could have rolled enough. No, he rolled a 19. Best he could have gotten was 26. I want to think he at least knows enough to know, like, what. Not that he sees anything, but he goes, "Wow, she's holding it together pretty good."
That's probably fair.
Probably fair, yeah.
Because it
Yeah,
wasn't
but-
a deception.
Yeah, no. She's
She's putting on a bit of a show, so to speak. Yeah,
you
everything's
kind of see
normal,
like
everything's fine. She's
the lady
chatting in-
mask.
Yeah, she's chatting in between bites, giving her mouth time to cool off.
On like an off second, like Asher will just do like a silent but like light applause.
Well, that's what Fane are for.
no, the physical action.
Uh-huh.
Just like
Just a little tap tap with the finger on the palm.
Like
The
golf clap.
titter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Xenia. The milk is kind of like it's like very cold water with like the slight hint of milk is what it tastes like. It's not
so
bad.
Skim.
Sort of. I never had skim milk, so I don't know.
oh no, like you might have talking about. He's just like, oh no, there's 100% shade being thrown right there.
I've never had skim milk. I don't know.
It's like what? It's
It's water that might taste vaguely of milk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there is no substance or taste to it.
Pop-Tarts, skim milk. That's what dwarves are known for.
Oh god, no,
I
not
guess.
skin.
Really?
Lacto-
I would think dwarves are like freaking 10% up in this bitch.
Yeah, no, they don't have cows.
Eh,
yeah. Lactose-free
They're
skim
milking
has a
something.
sugary taste. So apparently, skim milk is just water with a slight milk taste.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah, basically.
much.
And it also has like the slightest blue tint.
Huh.
Are we Star Warsing this? Is this bantha milk? But
I've
thin.
never seen Star Wars. I don't know.
Okay.
Can
Bitch.
I should like medicine or like nature check that?
Sure.
Consignia?
Have fun, you
What's
guys. I'll leave you to that.
Rolls medicine,
Oh my god,
Nope.
you guys.
Yeah, you're not sure. It maybe
which is
vaguely
almost
plant-like.
honestly more terrifying.
Tastes good though, and it really helps with spice.
If it soothes the burns, then you will still drink it.
And more meals are put out, and you're for like an hour. You guys are just fed more and more meals without stopping.
Esther
Okay.
is
Like
very
full on
happy.
like Italian ass like 19-course meal.
I
Dear
love
God.
it.
God.
Yeah, no,
And of course, the final one is Pop-Tarts.
Yep.
Ash is falling over at meal 3.
Rosalind knows how to pace herself for these long things, probably.
Ash doesn't.
Training. Uh-huh.
And they all taste like really good, and the dwarves eat all of it. Like there's a lot of them, but a lot was made too. Like no one skips any of the meals, and they all seem very happy about it.
Ash is at that state where you go into all you can eat place and you really got to get your money's worth, but then you're like on the couch suffering and you're like, okay, is this really worth that money? Because I feel like
Yes.
hell right now.
Basically.
Esther is devouring everything. You are not sure how much room her stomach has, but she just keeps going.
Also, Ash will, if he can, like the food he doesn't eat, just in a not subtle manner, plop it into the jar.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Kitty sleight of hand.
Go for it.
They need
Esther
to
will
eat.
pass him the jar.
20.
So you start doing it, and one of the dwarves with the beard, she gives you this laser focused look from across the table.
Oh
The
no.
It just
20?
says nothing.
He got the
With a
grandma eye. Hey, sometimes moms have special training in mealtime sleight of hand, okay? She could have had a picky one.
Oh yeah. And you do hear like a quiet voice from next to your Ashton and goes, "Save me something too, please."
And he like have like reach in the pocket, palms it, just using that same 20, and just oops the fairy into the jar.
Yep. For like half a second, you hear another snap, and then nope, Pierce.
And then Pierce turns into a fairy.
No.
Or a mouse or something.
Excuse me. Sorry, turns into a what? I sneezed.
Into a mouse or something. Or,
Yeah, no. He just
oops
gets.
him.
He just got told no by Aquarius. He was expecting food. You dropped Brayla.
Oh, no.
She hid in the turkey, it's fine.
That could have killed her.
Thankfully, she was invisible, but Pierce does have blindside. So it was a close thing.
Pierce has blindside?
Oh, sorry. He has tremor sense or blindside. One of the two.
I think it's tremor sense.
I'm not sure. I'll check after. But the meal is served, and questions are asked of you guys. A lot of the younger dwarves end up translating for the older ones. Generally, just like, oh, where are you from? What are your names? You guys give your names?
Ashton is a Fane go around first name only if you can help it.
Esther had
we'll
already
just-
said hers.
Let's just go with first names. They are more natural to answer to,
Mhm.
and to call each other by. And
Yeah,
it
but
saves us-
Ashton just makes a point of it.
Yeah, it saves us slip-ups further down the road, so just Rosalind.
And you guys actually, as you begin to tell the names, and some of you aren't paying too much attention to it, you notice even the utensils and the plates and the cups also have little carvings on the side of them. Of those similarly grandiose names. And
Can Ashton just like do a look around the room, see if anyone's like trying to listen in a bit more than they're leading on?
sure, roll insight.
Insight, not perception.
It's insight.
He's not focusing on one specific person.
That's fine. He's still trying to read body language.
All right. 25.
Nice.
A couple of the kids seem to be really attentive, and as well as Groloun. But otherwise, it seems relatively casual.
You know what? While we're here, just in the pause of a food or something. Where is it? Where is it? Detect portal.
Okay. About at the very edge of your sense, below, like almost straight down, you do detect a portal.
Yep. Any feeling for it?
Nothing you recognize, so go ahead and roll me just raw wisdom.
21.
Yeah. Based off just context clues, might be to the Underdark, might be to the plane not to the plane of Earth, because you would recognize that. Yeah, maybe Underdark.
All right.
I mean, you wouldn't be surprised if it was the Abyss too, because you've heard stuff about how like Drow and Duergar, not Duergar, specifically Drow, sometimes contact demons.
Yep.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem particularly malignant.
Still kind
But
of
as
just
things kind of
light twitch to the face as he just thinks about it. It's like, oh, there's one.
and you see the one of the older dwarves. She says something to the little girl you guys spoke to earlier.
Is this within Rosalind's earshot? Oh wait, Rosalind can read lips. Conrad?
Conrad's gone.
We lost him.
I think he
no.
probably meant he was about to say what it was and just.
Oh man.
But we are taking a trip. I want to get to combat, but we got to take a trip to the weapons shop. Asha needs to,
Yes, we do. Because
and
I
also
think
just general diplomacy of, hey, Mr. Archdruid.
Yeah. Hey, we've got a thing we want to do, and we hear you're the person to ask about it.
Eyebrows.
also I have enough gold to buy that armor.
You have
Yeah.
gold?
Or we go fight some dragons and we come back with even more.
Yeah, I went to the what's it called? I went to the market. I had all that shit. I've been body looting.
You sold all your stuff.
I sold a lot of shit.
I have like 2 gold.
Test.
There he is.
Hey!
I sold a lot of hyena teeth.
You did. Sorry,
Wait.
where did I cut off there?
Grandma's
leads
talking
to the younger
little
one.
girl.
Okay, and the little girl translates to you guys, and she says, great granny wants to know if the food's not agreeing with you, Mr. Ashta.
Is it the same one that gave the daggers?
No, this is a different one.
Right.
Oh wait, sorry. Oh, the grannies?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Wait, hold on. I think you answered a question I didn't ask. Is it the same one?
The same older dwarf, yes.
Okay, that.
So I thought you were asking if it's the same little girl who.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's the same old lady who saw you palming the food away.
All right. Yeah, and he just. I'm not used to eating a lot, and I have some stuff on my mind.
Oh, you're so big. Huh. Okay. And she translates back to the old.
And he'll go. It's like, humans and dwarves.
Yeah, but aren't you tall for humans too?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay.
There's the line on the neck.
I happen to think that he is a perfectly adequate height.
Sorry, Miss Rosalind, what is it? Adequate?
Enough.
I don't know that common word. Oh, enough. Okay.
It's good. It's plenty.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Then she goes back to
Just adequate.
But you guys finish the meal. It's pleasant. The conversation kind of begins to die down. You see most of the dwarves are kind of like leaning back in their seats and just clutching at their stomachs with a pleasant look.
Yep. Ash is doing the same, but just in the oh god, why?
It's not a
Esther.
pleasant look on his face.
Esther's so happy. She hasn't had a meal like that since she left home.
And you actually see one of the older dwarves. This one has no beard. He kind of summons up a mage hand and carries this small edge of a Pop-Tart up to Ember.
Ember takes it so happily.
And it's the bird thing where it's like...
Thorn's been getting little bits and pieces as well. Not enough to stuff him,
Oh,
but
wait.
yeah.
You keep hearing him like send you a message just like more in your head.
Go slowly. If you stuff yourself, you'll feel sick. Look at Ashton.
Dragon equivalent of the dog going.
Basically. But
If you
meals are
pace-
finished.
If you pace yourself, you'll be able to eat more.
But the meal is finished. And when the Groloun, he stands up and he whispers to one of the younger male dwarves. They whisper back for a second. He goes, the bedrooms in the back are yours to sleep on. And he gives you a smile. He says this in common to you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you.
How late in the day was it when we got there? Got to the top of the mountain? Or not the top, the hole.
Early to mid-afternoon.
Okay. So we've got a little time to ourselves.
Yeah, or you guys are free to adventure out the city as well. One of the same younger boy, he says, and if you want to go outside, everywhere you want to go, I know all the blacksmiths in town, I know all the armorsmiths in town, I know everyone.
Do you mind taking us to one of the
There's like a
blacksmiths?
tapping on the table by Ash. Then it's like, weaponsmiths.
Yeah, which one do you want? I know 38 and a half.
Oh,
Half.
wow.
Why the half?
He does blacksmithing, weaponsmithing, and armorsmithing. He's sort of a big deal.
Anything for crossbows?
Ooh, crossbows. We have some stuff. It's Yeah, I think I know a few. More arrows than actual crossbows, but I hope it's okay.
And
Okay, that
what's your
tilts the
name,
head.
hon?
Oh, I'm Sidgear.
It's a lovely name.
And he,
Would you know anybody good with light armor?
oh yeah, a bunch. I know of the what's the common word for it?
Mithra?
No, not it's sort of it's like my shirt but made of mithril.
Yes.
And he says something in dwarvish. Browse, you understand it as basically metal weaving is what he calls it.
Rosalind quickly translates that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that. Sorry, common is. I'm pretty good at common, but not the best.
I understand. Don't worry.
You seem to be doing very well.
Yeah, I'm the best in my class about it.
You must be very proud.
I have extra time to study, and I talk to everyone I can, so it helps me a lot too.
That's always good.
Yeah. So, did you want to go talk to a weaponsmith, the blacksmith, the metal weavers, or what?
Ashta,
Maybe
you
start
seem to
with metal
be...
weavers.
Oh, I thought you were itching to get to the blacksmiths.
I'd like to know where it is. Time-wise, I can take or leave, but if we're all going out at once.
If you want, I know of one of the families, and basically everyone in the family smiths, or metal weaves, or fletches. We can just go to their house and you can talk to whoever is there.
Actually, kind of like shrugs and that could work.
Alright,
Sounds
come on.
good.
And he says something in Dwarvish. He basically says, he's like, bye, Granny, I'm going to lead them around town. And the two older ladies with a beard going to race.
And Rosalind's gonna ask Esther and Ashta, would you be comfortable me leaving you in his capable hands as a translator? I was hoping to do a little bit of reading.
Of course. Just one moment. Sidgir, could you help me for a second?
Oh, sure. What do you need?
Who cooked the meal?
Pretty much everyone. We all kind of helped.
Oh, then do you mind giving them all my thanks? Our thanks.
Yeah, sure.
Asha asks that Thorn come with them, and Zinnia stay back if Zinnia doesn't want to go with
Yeah,
them.
yeah, Xenia's gonna read too.
Okay. Yeah, Thorn will go along on Ashta's shoulder because Ember is on Esther's.
Yeah, and Ash will hand them the jar.
Yeah, I was gonna say Esther would get the vase.
Yep, and I guess Rosalind will go back to the room that we were given or asked to be shown there. And because she'd like to rest a little bit. The meal was delicious, but very filling. And she'll settle down in there with her books of enchanting and do some more studying while they're out. Did we lose Conrad?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Bugger. Okay.
Oh my.
Hey Xenia, do you want to read enchanting books, or do you want to read a chapter of the
Smut.
of the book?
But Xenia would probably like give like a sharp breath because number one, all the translators are gone and they really don't want to use a spell. Number two, Dustglove.
Yep. Okay.
And go
Test,
just sit
test.
in the same room. Hey Conrad.
Okay, good. Yeah. The same dwarf who made the mage hand earlier, he summons up a dancing lights, and which leads you guys to your rooms.
Yep. Rosalind thanks him as we go by. And yeah, as I said, settle down and do some reading.
As you thank him, dwarf, she gives you this big toothy smile. He's got like half his teeth in his mouth, but seems like a happy old man.
He's gonna try and replicate the same sound she just Rosalind just made.
You see his eyes kind of like twinkle a little bit, and he just kind of chuckles. Actually, Senior, what languages do you speak?
I speak I know I speak Common, Elvish, Sylvan, Undercommon, and Druidic.
Okay. Undercommon actually does use the same base language as Dwarvish, so you can get a pretty reasonable approximation of the word.
Oh, fun facts. Okay, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So you guys head in. The room is comfortable. Once more, everything is carved with fancy names. The bed you get basically sit upon, Rosalind. You can see like on the mattress embroidered in mithril, you assume, fabric or thread. Um, it's bearer of king's bed of pillows.
Bed of
Well,
pillows.
no kings today, but the pillows are always welcome. So
And it is a soft bed.
You take Aquarius out of the vase.
Mm,
I'm just asking.
Might maybe peek in there and just quietly say in there, those who can be small and or invisible, you could probably fly out the mouth of the vase now for a little while, but be ready to zip back in if somebody comes in.
And you see Rayla kind of, you don't see Rayla, she settles kind of in the crook of your neck, Rosalind, and a little moth flutters out and rests on top of Xenia's book.
Well, Rayla, it's you and me for a little while. Thorn's with Ashta, they're going out weapons shopping, I suppose.
And what is it with them and weapons? Why do they love it so much? No offense, Xenia.
It's not that bad.
Weapons are fine. I like bows and spells.
Look, if you guys can get me a very tiny needle and teach me how to use it as a sword, I might be convinced. But that's it.
I'll buy a sewing kit.
Please.
It could
Give
be
me the one if you
interesting.
can.
I know. Give
It's
her a
nice.
mithril greatsword.
It's nice learning to use a sword a little bit.
If you say so.
What if Xenia just takes out like a splinter of wood from what's it called? The Fletcher's tools and just hand it to Rayla?
You see, actually, as she holds it in her hands, it like stiffens and hardens. She goes, "Oh, I do still know that spell. Okay, cool." And she just whaps the bed with it, and just it makes a solid dent in it.
What the fuck?
All right.
Xena, you would recognize this as she knows Shillelagh.
Yeah. Don't hurt the furniture too much.
But what else am I gonna fight? I can't fight that moth.
Preferably not. Hmm. You know what? I'll see if I can work
Hashtag.
something. Guys. I'll see if I can work something out eventually, but it could take quite a while. In the meantime, well, I could show you one or two sword positions that Ashta showed me. Maybe you could just run through them until it feels natural?
Yeah, but I should be visible for that, and I can't. As you said, you want me invisible, right?
I'd prefer you stay out of sight of the doorway in case somebody came in. I doubt they will, without knocking, but...
You see her appear on top of the door frame.
Okay. Xenia's gonna take out because they had a spare druidic like totem focus that they got. I don't know when the fuck they got it, but Rayla could use that as a target dummy.
Yeah, probably.
That works.
I mean, it's relatively big, but it'll work.
Yeah, just like stands it upright and just go like.
You can basically like wrap a little piece of thread around it, so it basically functions as a punching bag.
Yep.
Rosalind shows her a few of the very basics that that Ash just showed her, and then once Rayla's going at it on the dummy, she'll go ahead and settle down with that book.
Okay. And yeah, she does it for a little while and seems to get bored and just goes off to do something else invisible in the room.
Mhm.
As for the party going out to shop, you get brought to a relatively large house. Another one of those longhouse-sized buildings, just carved into stone. This time with this silver, you think, inlay on the front door. Really tasteful, honestly. And Sidgear walks right up to it and just starts pounding on the door and says, "Sir! Sir!"
Oh my gosh.
Eventually the door opens and this cranky-looking dwarf just looks at him and goes, looks at you guys and just, "What?" And comment.
We were recommended by Sid here for weapons and armor.
And you see his eyebrows kind of like uncurling. Goes, "Oh, kid's got good taste as well as a loud voice." He kind of like sticks his like meaty palm on the top of his head and just starts leading you guys inside. This dwarf you notice has like the standard bald patch on top of his head. You see an old man. His hair is kind of salt and pepper.
Oh,
Brown.
you're roboting her.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Everything's-
Oh, all of us.
Hello?
Still robot-y for me. My Discord is low. Haha. Okay. We're all jumping out and back in, maybe? Yay, Discord.
Fast.
Wait, we got it, we
Yep,
got it,
yep,
we
we're
got
good.
it!
Yep, we're good.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, my voice has gone back down to the red.
Hello.
Yep.
I can
Red's
still
fine.
hear you fine.
Okay,
worry.
good.
Sorry, so the dwarf kind of like sticks like a meaty palm on the top of the kid's head. And he leads you guys inside. This dwarf, he seems relatively short, even for the dwarves. Older. He's got this like salt and pepper hair, but it's brown instead of black. And this like the monk bald spot on top of his head. Still standing straight, walking with confidence, but clearly older. And he
Brown
leads you
salt
into.
and pepper is cinnamon and sugar. Come on.
There is no sugar in this man, I can promise you.
Hmm.
Oh, lost eye. Hey, Good there, Ty?
Yeah, I got disconnected.
Oh, weird. Okay. Yeah, he leads you guys inside, and it looks like the entirety of this, like, 300-foot across space in any direction is just filled with forges and bellows and little crafting benches. And there are probably 25 dwarves in here all working on something. They don't even seem to notice you guys as you come in. And the dwarf turns to you guys and looks up and down and says, "So, what you looking for?"
And he'll whip out essence.
Yep, in essence, curls around your shoulder, and he's
Well,
looking into his. Anytime you grab onto her, she comes out.
yeah, no, just
And he just kind of looks and says, "Sentient weapon."
crossbow bolts.
And he kind of says, "Mind if I take a measurement just to get the right size?"
Yeah, he'll hand it.
Yep. And he basically just pulls out a tape measure from his pocket, measures a couple of things. He says, "I can get you a pretty good set, especially sized to be more accurate. Sound good?"
What's the price?
A little more expensive than your standard. Uh, Probably cost you about 10 gold for 20.
I could live with that.
You see him rustle around inside of a bin and pick out 20 bolts laid in front of you. These are bolts that are +1 only to hit, not to damage.
All right.
And he just pushes them towards you.
You said 20?
Yep.
All right. Yep. And he'll just hand him a platinum.
Yep. He puts it in his pocket. Thank you. I got more if you want fancier stuff, but non-magical, just generally accurate bolts. Figure you don't need the magic stuff because you got the magic weapon. Sound good?
Yeah, for now at least. If there was any fancy stuff, I'm sure there's enchanters too.
Oh, you want some enchanted stuff? I can show you.
Eke out. I'm not packing a lot of gold, but I'd be interested to at least look.
I'll get the mid-range stuff. It should still be reasonable. Steel bolts or looking more broadly?
Still bolts.
All right. And he kind of like reaches down into just a bag of holding, and he pulls out another case of bolts, and inside of them are these pure like black obsidian bolts. And he puts down 3 of them on the table. He goes, "You want these bolts? They cone of darkness, and whatever they stick into. Only way to get rid of it is to tear the bolt out of yourself, which hurts. Good for getting someone to be less of a problem for a little while, especially spellcasters."
Basically, so might I ask the meta statistics on that?
Yeah, so basically it's a bolt that casts a small sphere of darkness, like 5 foot, around whatever it sticks into. Still does normal damage of normal bolts, still have to hit them like you usually do. But if you hit them to get rid of darkness, they have to rip the bolt out of themselves, which will deal an additional 1d8 is the damage you do with your weapon.
Yikes.
And I assumedly also it would take an action to do so.
Bonus action, but yeah. Yeah, it takes basically 1 of your damage dice to pull it out.
All right.
It's 1d8, right?
I believe so.
And yeah, take an add d8 damage on ripping it out.
No, D10. Heavy
D10?
crossbow.
And then, sorry, d10 to rip it out. And he puts down 3. He says, these 3 if you want. He said mid-range, it's about 150 gold.
For 3?
For 3. As a note, they are a single use each.
Yep. He'll just kind of like look over and. Anything else? I want to keep the options open.
I'll leave them just in case you make your mind for it. I got a few. He pulls out various like elementally damaging bolts, kind of thing. One that actually does radiant damage as well.
And he goes, got anything for giants?
A few. They usually get special ordered by the guys above. But I think I got a few left over. Yeah. He pulls out these like, relatively weaker giant sling bolts. It's like an extra 2d6 each.
All right.
Pulls out 5 of them, and says, "Yeah, like 75 gold for these."
For each or
Total for
for how many?
5 of them.
He'll take. Can he sell each of them like piecemeal? Basically, like buy one.
They're a little more expensive, but yeah.
Okay. In that case, maybe not then.
Okay. He just leaves them on the table and says, "When you guys decide, the list will be there. Don't worry."
Also the darkness arrows. Are those also more expensive if you just buy one, or?
No, he's giving you the price of them, basically 50 each. But you said mid-range, so we pulled out 3.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So then, yeah, he'll do it, but he'll kind of like start counting out 50 for one of the darkness arrows.
Yeah. Go ahead and take that if you want.
But I'm just gonna wait and see.
Okay. And he looks at the rest of you guys and says, "Well, this guy seems like the big spender, but what about you?"
Me?
Yeah, I assume you want them to, yeah?
Had a specific request actually, I believe.
Preferably if you're able to metal weave.
I mean, I don't do it personally, but I know a few people who can, yeah. What are you looking for?
Light armor that anyone can wear, in a sense.
Any preference? Shirt, dress, pants?
Shirt and pants.
Yeah, sure, standard set. Of what grade? We have low grade, mid grade, and high grade.
I don't know the difference. I'm
I assume
sorry.
this is padded leather instead of.
It's basically how protective they are. It's either 11, 12, or 13 to your armor class.
13 for fucking light armor? Really?
But it's high grade. It's
All right.
basically, it's effectively masterwork version of this.
Right.
Okay, well my armor class is already 11 though.
Right, it would be, the base would be 13 plus your dex modifier. Or 12 plus your dex modifier, or 10 plus your dex modifier.
Dex modifier is +1, so what plus my dex modifier?
So, right now it's 10 plus your dex modifier.
Mm-hmm.
It can either be 11, 12, or 13 plus your dex modifier for low, mid, and high.
You can get +1, +2, or +3 to your current AC.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what about mid?
Mid grade, probably running about, call it 450, 500 gold pieces. But
Okay.
you guys are shopping pretty well. Call it 400 if you buy one of some of those arrows.
400 for both?
Well, 400 for this, and then we'll negotiate for the arrows as well. But
He'd
buy
be
some of the
cutting
arrows,
it
I'll knock
down
down the
from
price.
around 500 to around 400 if we were buying arrows as well.
Awesome. No, I meant like 500 for both, like 400 for both, like the pants and the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
She's gonna look at Ashta.
Big puppy dog eyes.
What do you say?
He'll just feign over. It's like, I have enough gold for one of the darkness arrows on me right now. Without
And
cutting into party's funds.
she'll feign back. I have enough to spot you for the rest.
I don't necessarily want all of the rest regardless, but
Then buy as you can.
how much does SR have on her right now?
1,400.
Okay, Jesus Christ. Yep. So Ashton might, but I will feel less bad about spotting some here.
Yeah.
He might ask for 75.
Yeah, and Esther will give 75.
Right. So he'll take those 5 giant slayers.
You see the dwarf kind of give you guys a weird look and goes, "How are you guys talking? Whatever." And he pulls out the giant slayers and puts one on the table for you.
And there 5 of them for 2d6, you said?
Yep, 2d6 each.
Back
Again,
down
single
to
use. If you miss, you miss.
925.
And he basically asks you to come over to the one of the workers to get measured for the armor.
Yep. And then he'll also hand over his own 50 for one of the darkness bolts.
Okay, yep. Go ahead and mark off that one. So as I said, still a normal bolt. Once it hits the target, it has to hit the target. It makes a 5-foot radius of darkness, as if cast at second level, like usual. And the target must make a bonus action to pull it out to end the effect, dealing 1d10 damage to themselves.
Okay. And for the armor?
Yep. So he calls it 400, and they start measuring you for the pants and shirt. Younger dwarven male, much happier looking than the older one. He's asking like, "Oh, do you want it loose on your body, tight fit? What's your preference? Is it underneath the clothes, on top of the clothes?"
Whatever's best, I guess.
Well, it's your preference, your armor, you know. Would you rather show off your own style or show off your armor?
Underneath the clothes, preferably.
All right, tight it is. It'll be sort of like a light corset. You ever worn one before?
No.
All right, it slips on mostly like a shirt, and he pulls out an example piece and tightened at the bottom. It's like a drawstring. Basically, tells you how to equip the armor.
There's a feign over. It's like I'm sure Rosalind can help you with that.
True.
And he basically fits you for it. And I see him pull out a piece, make a couple alterations to it, hand you the shirt. Same thing. Pull out a pair of pants. Same thing. Pants also underneath the clothes or on top?
Underneath, please.
All right. This will also keep you warm if you go anywhere. Cool. For lower temperatures. If it gets too cold, it's not going to be pleasant. But, you know, to each their own. And he basically makes you pants that cut off just below the knee.
Okay.
And they're relatively form-fitting.
So this classifies them as medium armor, right?
They are light armor.
Okay, so light armor and
it is 12 plus your dex modifier.
So you got an armor class of 13 now.
It's actually possible for most enemies to miss you now. I'm not joking.
No, I know. I'm so happy.
Right.
I'm really happy. Okay.
Right. And he basically says, "Okay, someone like you, I do a little bit of magic work myself. I can give you a wand that turns into a weapon if you want, or..." And you see the old man says, "Nope, none of your amateur shit over here." Shoves him out of the way and says, "Sorry. Do you want anything else? Let me know, okay?"
Will do.
I'm not looking to buy right now, but could you perhaps give an estimate on something?
Yeah, for sure. Specialty made or ready made?
Perhaps specialty.
Yeah, what's your preference?
Well, I guess to start, high grade, potentially enchanted, light armor, mithril.
High grade and enchantments. It's a little more finicky. You know what kind of enchantment you want?
Durable, flexible.
I mean, something like that. It doesn't need to be enchanted. I can just make it myself. It'll take a bit more time, take a bit more effort on my part, probably a day or two. A bit more expensive, but not expensive enchanting. It'll be still be functionally the same. Basically, saying he can make you a +1 set of armor that's effectively masterwork rather than being enchanted. So you can enchant it later if you want.
And that would be the high grade, so 13 plus dex?
It'd be 14 plus dex.
Okay.
Because it's 13 and then the +1, because he's basically doing it himself, and then dex modifier.
Alright. And, okay, what about half plate? Would that be 17 plus dex max too?
What's half plate normally?
15.
15? So half plate's a little bit different, because it's not weaved. There's no mid-grade, high-grade, low-grade.
Okay.
But it would be effectively light armor, without the stealth problem. And if he does the stealth, he could still make it 17 plus dex, up to 3.
17 plus dex up to 3?
Yes, because it is mithril.
Oh my god, yep.
Okay, so...
I know Rosalind's plan. My plan for Rosalind now.
So, okay, let's say...
Sorry, one second, I have to close my window. Someone is smoking some weed right outside.
Lovely.
Yikes.
Alright. And then he might just ask, I'm assuming you can still hear me. What is the possibility of in-game
Sorry about that.
terms? He'll ask then, basically in-game terms, what is the possibility of heavy armor plus dex modifier?
And he gives you a smile. He goes, Sidgear brought you to the right man. And he actually like pulls out of his pocket a key. And he beckons you to follow. And
Actually,
he
like swallows an excited knot in his throat.
opens up a little door in the back. Steel door. Actually, probably mithril door. Opens it up. And you see this basically classical knight's plate armor. But looking at it, there's no hard edges. Everything is smoothly made. There's this like green, the mithril trim, like the dyed mithril. That's like a trim throughout all the edges, like a forest green, and it looks so nice.
Alright.
This would be plate mail that you can do dex up to +2,
Oh fuck.
and is already +1.
So
and he's looking at you and says, "This is I can make something not as expensive as this because this is my creme de la creme, you know. But something like this,
It looks good, Ashta.
he kind of like slowly nods his head and it's like, "Would you forgive me of being so bold to ask the price of this specific piece of
he gives you a
armor?"
big smile and says, "Oh, I was waiting for you to ask it. This piece, that's 7,500 gold. But
and immediately there is a feigned message. We do not have that much. Wait until after.
And Asher like looks over out loud. He goes, "Yet."
That's why I said, and then in feign, that's why I said after. And a big smile comes across her face.
and you see even the dwarf is smiling now. He looks so excited.
And I assume there's no disadvantage to stealth on this thing.
And he looks to you and goes, and by the way, this isn't even enchanted. If you have someone who can enchant, they can do their work with it."
Esther's nearly like jumping up and down. Like she's so excited.
Yeah, he just showed you a Ferrari, and it's like, oh.
Asher does the equivalent. Like he's not smoking, but he breathes out a drag. Basically, that's how he's feeling right now. And just, well,
Real
can't-
quick, Rosalind,
Yes.
you get a message from Thorn,
Uh-huh.
and the message just says they want to spend a lot of money.
She'll zoop into Thorn's eyes and ears briefly. And
imagine
kind of
you're in
see
this like
what-
dark room with a spotlight on this suit of armor.
Uh-huh.
No, like quite.
Oh, did we lose him?
I think we might have lost him.
He's gone.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay, yeah. You're right.
We really
Dragonborn
have
is
to-
just the Mithril Armor Fund because holy high-grade half-plate Mithril Armor would be very nice for Rosalind. I plan on increasing her
yeah.
dexterity at some point.
High grade half plate. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Also, anything that is generally able to be worn by Esther, I want to upgrade that into high, and I'm really excited.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Also, yeah, Esther had a lot of money from selling all her shit.
Yeah. Okay, lesson learned. We loot everything and we sell stuff.
I don't see.
Yeah.
This is going to be ridiculous with the mithril.
Yep. Yep.
Of course there is, Conrad.
Yeah, because I kind of miss having Engel's very high armor class by the end there. I want Rosalind to have a bit better than current 15, which isn't bad, but you know.
Esther's finally got an armor class above 11. It's finally a 13.
Excellent.
Hey, Harkness
But mine
survived up
is
to
the-
like
Oh my god.
Harkness survived level 21 with an armor class of 15. But it feels nice to not get hit by stuff.
It does. It really does. Okay.
How the
Um,
fuck?
Yeah, Thorn is looking at this. Rosalind just knows, and she's gonna nudge Thorn to kind of lean close to Ashta's ear, so hopefully sound doesn't carry. And she's gonna
Well, Thorn can-
whisper through
Thorn
Thorn.
can still telepathy.
True. Alright, she'll nudge Thorn to telepathy. to Ashta on Rosalind's behalf. Are we planning on going after a dragon ore? What would that take? 5?
There's a light jump. Like he's not he doesn't like freak out, but like Thorn is like shifted slightly. Well, I mean, this is research, purely research.
I'm window shopping, I swear.
Yeah.
Would Esther
Although
have...
if we happen to stumble across 750 platinum, I mean, I found an option.
I have the feeling that the research would look well. It would look well on you. I think it would work for you.
It's not even enchanted yet.
Ah. So something to play with.
And this is like,
I'm
if I
working
buy
on
this, there's no
studying up.
playing with this.
You're right. Something to work with.
This is this dwarves magnum opus, and it shall be yours as well.
I'll get back to studying then. Have fun window shopping. She'll zip back into her own vision and get back to cracking those books.
Yeah, and just like as it goes, there's just like a legitimate just thank you for studying enchanting.
Yeah, she's
the dwarf.
gone by then, so no replies.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep. The dwarf says, if you're looking for the future, I do have one more bolt I think you'll enjoy. And he pulls out like this bolt made entirely of mithril. And it's got this gold scroll work going through it. And the feathers on it seem to be like the weave of mithril from before. And he says to you, this bolt, anything it hits, if it doesn't immediately bleed out and die, it takes a long time to heal from the damage. Basically, this bolt, they roll a con save versus it. If they fail, they die. If they succeed, they take 10d10 damage, which cannot be healed for 3 full long rests.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Esther's gonna slowly look to Ashta and through the fame just go, imagine hitting Bo with that.
And he's like, I have one for that already, but I
But
understand your point.
imagine.
And he looks over the dwarf and it's like, I'm not gonna go running to guards or anything, but is that legal to have?
He kind of smiles and says, we follow our own laws down here.
I love this town, and this is out loud.
Yeah. And he's like, is that so?
Uh-huh. And unless you tell the druids up there what it does, doubt they'll know. To them, it's just a fancy bolt.
And he just pauses, like, what's your stance on humanoid slaying bolts?
I've made a few. They're mostly magic, so not my specialty, but I've created the housing for it. I have an enchanter who I work with. Like I said,
And
we
it's
follow our own rules down here.
Again, I love this town.
like, this is the fucking, you know the fucking movie with Nick Cage where he's the arms dealer?
Yep.
This is this dwarf to Ashta. Like, he needs to have sunglasses
he
and a
knows
cigar.
a potential customer when he sees it.
And yeah, he'll just kind of slowly nods, like, well, like I said, I'm not sporting much on me as of right now, but
Oh, that's fine.
your pitch has been heard.
Good. And Sid Gear, next time you have more friends like this, make sure you bring them here. And he's just nodding excited. And you see him actually like walk over to Sid Gear, pat him on the head, and hand him a small pouch. Commission. Good job.
All right. Ooh, he might just get his fucking Iron Man suit yet.
And he kind of just, dwarf once more smiles up and he says, shall I put a reservation on it for you? Or how about this? Do you want to try it on?
Do you want to take the expensive sports car on a brief test drive? Oh my god.
He twists his head and just like, with like all the self-control he has, just like,
I wanted to test out one of my axes anyways. This will make for a good test.
Esther's gonna chime in. If you put that on, you're not going to take it off.
the offer is appreciated.
Come on. Make an old dwarf happy. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna live. I want to see someone wear it. He is actively rolling a persuasion check on you, but
Insight. 14.
Yeah, you fail, brother.
23.
yeah, it's not mind control. But man, he's convincing.
He puts a hand on Essence. And just,
She wraps around your shoulders, looks at the armor, and goes, "You could do so much with it."
God, he's surrounded by enablers.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I mean, Esther did say you won't want to take it off.
Yeah, Esther did offer some control, but not much.
It's fading. It's fading rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like breathes into the. Fine. It'll be good motivation.
He just gives you a big smile and leaves you in the room with the armor to put on for yourself.
Esther's just jumping up and down. Put it on. Put it on.
Are you waiting in the room with him?
Yeah, I'll turn around. But still, I'm trying to put
You don't
it
need to.
on.
He's still wearing clothes underneath it.
Right.
But he's going to get an axe to test it with.
Then, well, yeah, I'll stay in the room with Ashta. Oh.
Puts it on, and then runs to the airplane and runs off. No.
I wouldn't even blame you.
We play with our own rules
Do
here.
I get another thorn ping because he's trying on the expensive thing?
He sends you the image of Ashton putting it on.
Yep, okay.
As a note, probably the first time you've seen Ashton not wearing his breastplate normally because he's putting on the other armor.
Okay.
But yeah, once the armor's put on, about 10 minutes to put it on because it's heavy armor.
Yeah,
The
Rosalind
dwarf
will
comes back in.
Tie.
swap to thorn sights. She gave him a little time to put it all on there.
And you see the older dwarf come back in with this absolute wall of a dwarf holding the biggest axe you've ever fucking seen. Like this thing is like a Goliath could comfortably use it as a two-handed weapon. Unfortunately, this dwarf is as wide as a Goliath is tall normally. Basically, not actually, but effectively. And he hefts the axe, and he just looks at you and he says, "You sure you want me to swing this at you?"
And he breathes in. Cast haste on himself just in case.
Esther's
Alright.
gonna back up.
So as a note, your armor class is currently 24 with haste.
Yep.
Oh my fucking god.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Holy God.
Oh.
Can we roll again so Ashton doesn't die?
Fuck, unfortunately this dude's a barbarian.
Oh no.
I'm sure he didn't rage beforehand.
Hey, remember what I said remember what I said on Friday?
Yes, yesterday.
What?
Criticals against all of you. The DM always rolls.
Oh my fucking Christ.
So he swings the axe at you, and the armor, like, caves in the chest. And it hits you in the chest hard, and you see both the dwarves just go white. And they look at you like, "Oh my god, you're alright?
He like actually probably coughs up some blood and just.
And he just goes, you see the older dwarf, like, push the other dwarf out of the way and rip the axe out of your chest, and immediately just, like, plunge his hand in the armor and press it against your chest, and the wounds heal. Don't bother, he the older dwarf fully heals Ashta.
Okay, I was gonna say Esther like ran over with the bottle. Like,
Yep. And he just looks at the armor with the caved in chest and he goes, if you come back once I repair it, it's half off.
Hey!
Yeah.
I very nearly killed you there, and I'm very sorry about that, sir.
You got a discount!
it's the half. Oh my god, he
And
almost.
he looks so ashamed in himself right now.
Oh.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Guess I'm a better metal weapon maker than I am an armor maker.
It's okay.
Time to go fix. No, I'm gonna go turn myself into a better armor maker than weapon maker. And he just helps you take off the armor, and you see him pull out this like hammer, and it's a mithril hammer. And he pulls out like mithril everything and puts it on, and he goes, "When you come back, this will be a much better set of armor. I promise you, sir."
And he, like, just as he's taking off, like, Azure might just be like, "Can you just bend this? It's kind of in my ribcage."
And
Thank you.
He reaches both hands into the armor and bends it out with his own hands.
Oh fucking hell.
Thank you.
Thrawn.
It's not fun, wrong. Shut the fuck up.
I just want to imagine, like, it hits the chest and Ashta hits the wall, like, 10 feet across.
And of course, imagine haste broke after that too, because it's DC 20 saving throw.
Yep, oh yeah. This is fucking...
So it was
Hold-
bad.
Hold on, I'll just, real quick. You never know. Nope.
Yeah, no. So you were like
Rosalind was-
paralyzed after too.
Rosalind was outright watching through Thorn as that happened.
Yep.
I like to imagine Rosalind is, like, sat, like, in the room, her eyes slightly aglow in a bag of popcorn she's currently munching on as this is
No.
going on.
And then she throws the popcorn back when he gets snapped.
Yeah, poor, Xenia is in there, and Xenia probably heard Rosalind kind of gasp or cry out just briefly or something in Thorn vision, but Rosalind can't hear her right now. With them.
Oh no.
Nope.
Someone's fucking dead. Someone's fucking dead.
But
And
after
then
you're brought
there's
out
a
of the
sigh of
armor,
relief.
and as you go to leave, you see that every single one of the people who were making armor before and weapons and doing their own thing, all of them have been brought over to this old man as he starts forging the armor again. You can literally see light coming from nowhere, glowing on him as he's forging it again.
Esther's gonna look at
And then
Ashta.
half off.
Esther's gonna look at Ashta. You almost died. But
And he looks like pot's kind of calling the kettle a bit, ain't they?
Oh, that would have one-shot Esther, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
just real fast, she's gonna look again. I'm not finished. He almost cut you in half. No wonder he's giving you half off.
I've been fine.
And with an audible screech, she's gonna be, "Do you know how good that armor is gonna be?"
You see Sid Gear is like jumping in joy behind you guys too. It's like, you guys gotta get the armor! You guys gotta get the armor! You guys gotta get the armor! I've never seen him sell that armor before. He's had it for 150 years. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Well, we are definitely going to be getting funds for that. It comes through Thorn's mouth.
Yeah, Esther is, by the way, jumping
Ashta, like,
up
jumps
and down.
again. It's like, oh, you totally saw that whole thing, didn't
Oh,
you?
yes, I did.
Esther is jumping up and down, grabbing Ashta's arm, shaking it. You're gonna be so cool!
Alright, I was a little bit terrified for half a second.
He's
It seems-
fine.
And
It
you guys
stood
hear
up
a
well.
loud crash from inside the forge. And you see as the forge master, his hammer is shattered right now.
Oh,
And he looks up to the ceiling and goes, "Not today, you motherfucker." And a hammer literally descends from nowhere into his hand. And he just grasps it and goes, "Good." And he goes back to forging it every time he hits the piece of armor to reshape the metal in the chest and bring it back to the shape it should be. You see that sparks fly throughout the entire forge.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Ashta, you're relatively sure he just called on some god to help him build this armor.
for an ASMR, absolutely.
Esther is actually screaming. She's so
Okay, guys.
excited.
Yeah,
Guys.
a few of his apprentices are also screaming.
Let's go and see about mugging that dragon. We need to.
Ashley,
Yeah.
like, Esther is shaking. Like, oh my god!
Like, okay, can like Rosalind like just be starting to explain all of this to Zinnia as Ashta kicks in the door and goes, "Guys, we're killing a dragon."
No,
We
Esther
know!
runs-
Rosalind's travels fast. Awareness travels faster than you guys can. So Rosalind is
Yeah.
finished explaining everything.
Esther's gonna run into the room screaming, "He almost died, but he's getting such cool armor!"
All right.
Sidgear is out in the living room explaining this to all the dwarves,
Uh-huh.
and they're also really excited.
A little bit ahead of ourselves. Half is still, let's see, 375 platinum. We do have quite a bit of money to earn or find or steal
Rosalind,
from dragons.
you don't understand. He summoned a hammer from a god
Yes,
to
yes.
make this armor.
No, I do understand that. I do. I just cart, horse goes first. So dragon, horse.
We will
goes
find the
first.
gold.
Can the horse please just lean in a window?
I was
Not
gonna
you,
say,
I'm sorry.
Lucy's head stick. I was gonna say Lucy's head sticks in the window and goes, "Yes, boss."
No, it was me who said it.
Oh, sorry, boss. His head comes out the window.
Well, he seems to be conflating us. Anyway.
And then Ash like just kind of like scratches his chin for a second, goes, "Horse armor."
I don't think that horse needs it.
The horse will be fine.
Asher doesn't need that armor either, but
Still.
He wants the armor. Ashta.
So out of curiosity,
Ashta?
the fancy armor is very nice. It suits you well, as I thought. But once we get back, presumably with the funds for it, and you can get it, I might take a look there as well. Mage armor is very useful, but perhaps I could free up a few resources if I were to do a little upgrade myself. I can wear light armor. If Mithril
Then
makes it
that
easier, I
means
could go up a
you could-
stage.
you could do
Conrad?
medium.
Do I have what I have right now?
Your armor, yeah.
Esther will, like, lift up her shirt and just show the armor underneath.
You
Is
see,
she-
Brayla flutter over and like go to stab it with her little toothpick, and it just breaks. And she goes, "Oh, that's good."
I know. Look at. I'm not gonna fucking die every hit. And she's shaking. Esther is jumping up and down, shaking. She's so excited.
So,
Mm.
oh my.
You get a sending spell, and you hear the old man's voice. He goes, "The armor's ready. It's still half off, but it's more expensive now. It's stronger now. It's
What's
better
up?
now.
Give me a number."
It cost you 5,000, but it's way better. It's effectively, instead of that +1 on top of it, it's +3 because I rolled a crafting check and he rolled another natural 20.
Oh god, yes! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Okay, yep.
So
okay,
that would bring up
guys.
your base armor class to 24, I believe.
Yep.
Conrad,
He's
just
at 26.
Yep.
holy. Okay, yeah, that's even better than Engel had at endgame, and she was level ridiculous.
Level ridiculous is my favorite level.
Yeah,
We have to go kill a dragon.
guys. Okay,
We have-
Conrad, just right now, tell us who can point us in a direction of somebody who might have some kind of like bounty set up. Did we just go back to the bank and say, "Hey,
Oh no!
is there a prize for hunting this dragon down that ransacked you?" And Conrad,
Conrad's
we
gone.
lost him in all the excitement. Yay!
Guys, matching mithril fucking armor.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Squad
Just-
colors.
Oh, mithril's like the green, right?
Asher's already got.
No, it can be changed. The color changes. It depends on the lore.
Yeah, but Conrad said it was green trimmed with that specific suit.
No, I mean, like, with yours, we know it's green. Oh my god.
I may or may not already have a sketch of Rosalind light medium armor. So yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, also,
I'm just
guys,
thinking for Rosalind, the I don't know. Do you know the Fate Stay Night?
No, I do not.
Like Lady in the Blue. Hold on.
Okay, I think
It's
I've seen
armor.
I've seen pictures of her.
Yeah, it's the armor skirt.
Yeah, I do not exactly have that, but it's an image.
also,
yeah, I do my own
y'all,
thing. Yes.
if we find the castle, do you not think there will be loot in the castle?
Oh, that too.
Test.
Hello, test.
Yeah.
All right, so in
Conrad?
the evening, after you guys are celebrating. Oh, I heard the whole thing. Don't worry. In the evening, as you guys are celebrating, Groloun knocks on your guys' door and says, and he looks to you, Rosin, says in Dwarvish, he goes, someone from the bank is here. They're asking about the dragon. They want to know if you guys can speak to them about what you saw.
Someone get the license plate on that dragon.
Yeah, we saw what direction it was heading generally. So yeah, she'll go out. Whoever wants to join her can. But
Asta
it might
follows.
be in Dwarvish.
Aster follows.
Yep, Xenia.
Everybody.
Too.
Yep.
You hear Brayla climb back into the pot.
Yeah. Honestly, real quick, just as a side thing, maybe while we were there, could we have gotten basically a pouch for the pot to go around and
Oh yeah, no, it
like
fits
a bag?
it fits onto the backpack.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just having it just like a big water canteen or something like that. To
No,
just
no,
kind of
it's about the size of like a 2-liter water bottle.
Okay.
So yeah, it fits into one of the backpacks pretty easily. But
Is it
guys,
magically strong, like enchanted, like not easily
yeah.
breakable? Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, all magic items are hard to break, unless they're made to be broken.
Yeah, Esther usually carries it on her.
But you guys get brought to the front door, and you are greeted by a water genasi, actually.
Okay.
And he bows to you guys, and he gives you a big smile and says, "Good morning. Are you citizens of Panacea?"
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Well, nice to meet you. And he goes to shake your hand, Rosalind. He goes, I'm technically the prince.
Oh.
Don't make a whole thing about it. I'm just part of my, experience. I'm trying to help out everyone I can. And I heard about this dragon attack, and I wanted to interview anyone I could, speak to them, get the knowledge I could, so I might be able to potentially help you guys fight it. I'm relatively skilled, and you see him, and seems really comfortable in this armor and weapon he has on him.
I should give an eye up and down.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a quick just perception check.
I'm hesitant because of how Korean.
Yeah, it does exactly like.
Yeah, Rosalind could try an
Real-
insight check because they're talking. She's not the
Yeah,
highest,
go for it,
but
but-
she's proficient.
Real quick, just give me the perception check. Astro real fast.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out at perception. 26.
Okay. So you notice that
I'm getting so many 19s. No 20s, just 19s.
Hey, you got the 20s where I counted.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, in the. Yes.
Hey,
Basically,
you
yeah.
got better armor for a cheaper price.
And a broken rib.
Yes, a few broken ribs. So you look him up and down, and
Go back.
he's in plate mail with the helmet taken off and on under one arm. It's mithril, well designed, but not ostentatious. It's just nice, efficient plate mail.
Good.
He's got a sword in his belt, a shield, and it looks like a wand also. And look at him, water genasi, about 5'9", 5'10". Good smile. Got this really sharply beaked nose, and this hair that literally flows and shifts like it's a wave where it goes to the front of his head to the back just every couple seconds, very slightly, but it's visible. Rosalind, he seems pretty genuine, and yeah, actually, he seems comfortable in his armor.
And your name would be?
Please hold.
Yep.
How's that spelt? PLEAZHALD?
I don't know. PLZHLD. No.
Well, Prince, please hold.
Please hold. I hate it. Stop.
Prince Ronier.
Ronier.
Spell that.
Ronir.
Okay.
He kind of just says, but for now, just can I get the details you guys got on the dragon? I heard you helped this man over here.
Of course.
If you'd like, we can reward you for that as well. I'm glad you were there to help him.
We were glad to help.
Good.
We were there for the aftermath, the escape from the mountain.
Well, that's what we're curious
We
about.
saw broadly
From the inside of the mountain,
direction.
it was too fast for us to see.
Yes, broadly the direction it went. Perhaps a rough count of how many attendants it had. Ashta, you're probably you probably were more accurate in that estimate than I
He
might
probably knows the exact number.
be. Exactly.
I mean, he just looks at, oh, that's even better than I could have asked for. He pulls out like his little notebook, and he just hands you a pen and thing. And says, please, anything you can. This is a massive help.
Red dragon.
And just write down details, do brief sketches of the dragon and the wyverns. Like the bag it was holding and kind of how it was spilling out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Red
And
dragon.
you see him kind of like tap one of his attendants' shoulder. It's another dwarf. And in his hand, he starts creating like a minor illusion to better make what you're describing, what you're writing down, and asks you to like the issues. And it's a relatively like detailed minor illusion. But you get the approximate size, the approximate number, the way the tarp was held, and all that. I assume you tell him about like the lightning bolt that like shot down and hit stuff. Yeah.
Yes, that.
Player forgot about that.
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What happened?
And he's like
lightning bolt shot down and
loving
hit
this
the
information.
dragon.
Ashta and Rosalind,
Yes.
give me quick just intelligence checks for just basic memory. How good you were for it.
15. Ooh, nice, Ash.
17.
Yeah. You guys are like pretty confident on how accurate this is. You might have gotten a couple of the numbers off by a few, but you're pretty confident.
Yeah. And Rosalind might bring up, we were actually thinking of checking with, well, presumably the bank that it robbed from to see if there was any sort of expedition to be mounted, any sort of anything we could join in on or help with. If there was a bounty on it, perhaps. Conrad, you can't be heard. I can't hear you.
I think Conrad's.
Yep.
Yep, there's the green circle.
Oh, goodness. Here we go again. He's typing. Good.
Test.
There you are.
Yep.
Yeah, so he says, he looks almost like taken aback. He says, no, you guys are visitors here. I couldn't ask you to do that. You're already helping so much. Please, I couldn't ask you to do that.
Well,
Hello.
you don't have to ask us.
Sorry,
We're
my
offering.
Discord lagged.
He's saying that he can't ask that of us because we're visitors, and it's like Esther just said, we're not. He's not asking us. We're volunteering.
He looks almost like pained at this. It's like, okay, just please don't feel like you have to do this. I know in Panacea there's this whole thing about required service. We don't follow that here. If you're doing this, this is entirely your choice. Yes.
Yes, don't worry. We don't exactly
To be
agree with
honest,
other things.
one of us did a
Yeah.
little window shopping in the city recently, and to be honest, a bounty on a dragon would help greatly with that.
Oh, for sure. We can absolutely reward you for this, especially
Also,
if
usually red dragons raise towns and
And
know,
that.
collateral in their greed.
Real quick, Ashton, roll me a history check before you say that.
Alrighty.
Conrad
12.
the rails.
Okay. Then yeah, that's the classical tales you've heard before, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, just I guess just basically like red dragons are usually considered threats to humanities. No.
Generally, yes. Usually we can handle them, but this one seems much older than we thought it was initially. Most of the time they get I guess cold is the best word for it, before they get this old, but we were too late on it. If you are willing to help, I assume you're capable. You've fought before often.
Oh yeah.
Asher
We have.
nods.
All right. Well, and he turns to another one of his attendants, a dwarf, not dressed in any kind of armor, no staff, no weaponry on him, but he's in just fine clothes. And he looks and says in Dwarvish, rousing to understand, he says, "Would you be willing to reward these folk for if they assist in killing the dragon with major contributions?" And the dwarf kind of just like, "Yes, fine, but look, can I ask at least, Prince, that I know it's a lot to ask, but can I ask that you also assist in this payment? We did just go through a bit of an issue right now, and a lot of people are pulling out." And he says, "Yes, of course, I'll make the payment. You can pay me back when you have time. Don't worry about it." And he turns back to you and says, "We've agreed here that, depending how great your contributions are, that you can be rewarded for it. If you'd like it in writing, we can also do that."
You just kind of.
I realize that perhaps exact terms are difficult to ascertain at this point if it depends on our contributions, so I believe that word should be enough. Besides, I presume that we're going to be finding whatever hoard this thing has amassed, and even after returning what was taken, that might be reward in and of itself.
That is true. We could potentially offer you items that don't belong to the bank, or if anyone who their money was in the bank and was taken, if they're willing to donate towards you, we could ask them what they're willing to give.
I wouldn't ask that. That
Oh,
wouldn't
Oh,
be there.
I must insist. I mean, you're helping so many people get their coinage back. You're helping a huge business. This attack on the town harms more than just the people whose money was taken. And the dwarves are known to, you know, when they feel thanks, they build something for those who help them.
Esther gives Asha a look.
Perhaps as long as it's their undertaking and their choice. I wouldn't.
Well, that can all be
specifically
decided
request
afterwards.
it. But yes, we are getting ahead of things. We do have to find and deal with it first.
All right. I plan to make a small militia of people. Is that all right with you guys? Would you be willing to basically see how well you fight in comparison? And if you fight well, you can be in charge of leading a small group of people, or you can be your own agents. Your choice.
Asher kind of.
Rosalind looks
Could
towards
we-
Ashta a little bit, and the others as well.
Would you? I would basically like could Asher like call on his like knowledge of just the way his group in previous squad stuff was run.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And also just if possible, we'd like to take a look at them, see what we're dealing with.
Oh, for sure. When you get tested, we'll basically see how skilled you are in comparison to them, and if you are seen as above skilled or above in intellect or leadership or any quality that would make you a good leader, we'll assign your role, and you can take that. Is that acceptable?
He'll just slowly nod.
Regardless of individual ability, would these assigned roles allow us to stay together as group ourselves? We wouldn't be split among them?
As long as you're more than the standard rank and file, yes. You can definitely stay within the same group no matter what, but if you'd like to make your own little squad of handpicked if you're skilled enough, I mean, by all.
That seems fair. We're just very used to fighting alongside each other specifically, so.
Oh, of course, I wouldn't ask to intrude on that.
All right. When and where would we be tested for this?
Does tomorrow morning sound alright? And he turns to Groloun, and he says, in Dwarf, he says, if you can bring them to the training square in the morning. And also, I think I might know someone who can get that arm fixed for you, or at least get a prosthetic in the meantime. And Groloun kind of nods. I can do that, Prince. Thank you.
Asher might also just Prince, correct?
Yes.
Would you be able to send word for us on our behalf?
Depends on who, but probably.
He kind of like he kind of like squishes up the face, like, you in much contact with the Archdruid
Which one?
of Citadel, or the Citadel rather.
No, Citadel is upstairs.
Is Citadel upstairs?
Citadel's upstairs.
Okay, yeah, then Citadel.
Oh, we don't always get along, but if he knows you guys, then I can give him names. Then absolutely yes.
Yeah, just letting them know that we're in the area and intend to come visit it at some point.
Oh, absolutely. And you see him kind of just breathe in for a second and focus. He kind of like touches his wand with one of his hands, and he says, what names am I putting?"
We'll give our names. I'm assuming.
Rosalind and her guards.
All right. And you see him kind of blink, and his eyes kind of glow this bright blue for a second. And all right, he says he's excited to see how you guys get up.
No help on that front. All right, then.
Yeah, teleportation is not an option, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. We have our ways, but not a worry for the moment.
And we'll just in here. We'll find ways.
Well, with that, I do have a lot of people I need to speak to. I do hope I see you tomorrow, and the best of luck.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's where we're going to end the session for today,
Okay.
because my chest is starting to hurt, so I don't think I can talk much more.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you need to take a rest.
Combat first thing tomorrow morning.
Probably.
All right.
Yes. Woo! It has been so
Can't wait.
long.
It
I
has.
know.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of diplomacy recently.
Made by Britain.
Made by Ariel Kritz McGee herself.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, Prince walks off, and Rosalind's just like, well, he seems nice.
It's very peculiar. I would never have anticipated him to be a genasi.
It was mentioned.
The usual royal arrogance.
He didn't really have it, did he?
Helkarim didn't just start either.
That's true, but
At least in words, not in actions.
Yes,
Kareem was also with-
don't let that one color your view of all people that might be similar in on the surface.
No, I know royalty. You're a fine example.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just rather surprised that the royalty is actually genasi, considering how you're
This one.
some of the people.
This
Kinda
one is. It's not a line of genasi, and it was brought up like last session, I think.
Yeah.
One before.
It's
maybe?
been a bit since last
It
session.
has.
Yeah, but basically, there was this whole bit with like Genasi cropping up in that royal line, and the royal kind of slowly being not quite usurped, pushed to the side in lieu of Archdruids,
Yeah.
and part of them being, the part of the whole like anti-elemental thing the Archdruids brought with them, and the fact that the Genasi were kind of increasing in that line helped to kind of
Delegitimize slightly.
legitimize. I always forget that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, but slightly delegitimize and kind of left in this like Queen of England state right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in any case, I think he might be a good ally to have.
We'll see how things go.
Asher makes a guttural noise. Just
Oh, you'll be fine. Besides, think of it this way. Even if he does turn out to be, well, less of a
Creepy.
wonderful person, or that, at the very least, you'll only have to deal with him briefly during this dragon hunt, and when you get back, there could be a very nice suit of armor for you.
he gives us and just you're right, but I
Tell me
thought
it's
the
not?
last dragon hunt with the royalty was going to be the only time we saw said royalty as well.
Hmm.
Well, if his family is being pushed off to the sidelines, if he doesn't exactly get along with some of the archdruids, if he does turn out to be better than Halgreen and much more like Rosalind, then he would be a good ally to have.
Let's try to go into this with an open mind. Either way. Let's try.
Open, not naive, but fine.
Just,
Didn't say naive.
yes. Just allow yourself to accept it if he is as he seems.
There's a lot of ifs being thrown around, that's my concern.
And that's always your concern, but,
And there's
well,
always a lot of ifs.
if is just, part of the situation.
We'll see how it plays out.
Exactly.
In the meantime, we should probably get some sleep.
Yes.
Speaking of which, did you or Xenia happen to let Pyrrhus out?
Also, Sky, you're kind of quiet there.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Sky is quiet.
Did you?
There.
Is that better?
Yes.
Did you or Xenia let Pyrrhus or Caius or Aquarius out?
Aquarius was out for a little while in the form of a moth, but, come to think of it...
Marilla was out for a bit, but
I did supply them with some food.
we
But-
didn't let Caius out.
You do
No.
realize how much that dragon can eat, right?
I think it sounds like Yan, who's the one with the bags of food for it.
And also, we don't really have a great deal of space to create the entire hut. Earliest opportunity, we'll have to make sure we do that.
Are you able to enlarge and reduce, Ariel?
I can do it once in a week.
I was gonna say if you could just reduce one of the bags of food so I can put it in.
Yeah,
You could
keep
just
in mind
also,
she can only do it the one time.
yeah.
No.
Also, you could just kind of pour it in.
rain kibble from heaven.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit messy, but someone in there has prestidigitation. Hopefully.
Okay, then that's what she'll do. She's gonna lean into the pot and just... Are you all okay down there? I'm
Hello in
assuming so.
there. Hello in there. Hello in there.
They are
Conrad, maybe
apparently
commit
okay.
to the roll 20,
Yeah.
so we can see them.
Well, worst comes to worst, it gets...
Well, if you put it in the roll 20, it's in the recording. I'm still going.
Yeah.
I don't have... logged out.
Ah. True.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yep, they agree. I imagine the I'll do the end bit for you there, Conrad.
Kibble
The
is
party goes.
raining down.
No, just the party goes and lays down for the night.
Yeah, I would ask about things like training hours.
We could probably handle that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, 3.
3 training hours? Does that include the time that Rosalind was reading while they were out shopping? Does she get like an extra hour in that book?
Maybe 2. Maybe. Who
Yeah,
knows?
it depends on how long it took them to walk there and back.
And how long it took Ashton to get hit in the fucking
Extra
chest.
2 Rosalind and Xenia. Okay, sounds good.
Cool.
So that.
Zen
Yeah.
Ashton got decked. I can't believe it.
Oh
get
my god, that was.
He
that
didn't
was
get
blue.
decked. He got like wrecked.
Yeah, that is true. Everyone take 500 XP.
I should take 150.
Yeah.
1,500.
Oh my
That's
god.
always-
That's fair for being fucking beat.
Extra 1,000 experience for almost fucking die.
Yeah.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
It was an experience for sure.
Fuck off.
For the past
Oh.
2 days, I've been
Mhm.
Dice have fucking hated you.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh man. And then we long rest and do all that.
I'm at. I'm currently at 666,000.
Nice.
I'm at
It shouldn't be 666,000.
Sorry, 666,600.
66,600?
66.
Numbers. 6660.
Yeah. Okay, Aquarius has create food and water, so they're doing okay in there. Caius is
All right.
fine.
They're enjoying water and crackers.
Oh, good. Caius isn't dead. We're good.
Hey, Ashton was again chucking food down.
Yep.
Right off the dinner table. Caius was running around trying to catch it.
Poor Pierce.
Pierce with his mouth open, just like
Haha.
My dragons. Also,
frozen food roasted by Pierce. Oh god, oh my god. I almost feel bad for them if they're just having TV dinners.
They'll come out eventually.
it's not going to be that long. They'll come out.
By the way, read these out loud for the recording. True.
We are
It's like all frozen food roasted by Pyrrhus was the last one.
Pierce microwave. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed because it's almost 6 a.m.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
we'll call the session there now.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you.